Greetings, all the Halloween lovers out there. Well, it's that time of year again when we get to enjoy the fun, spooky atmosphere of Halloween. And one of the best ways I like to enjoy that is by listening to some nice old-time radio classics. They seem to have gotten the audio format just right with some of these shows, so I'm going to be giving you a couple of those tonight. And to start things off, we're going to start with a little bit of comedy, but then go into our traditional spooky Halloween series, all right? And I've got some good ones lined up for you tonight. First, like I said, we're going to start with a lighter tone. So our first two shows are from 1944. First is Lum and Abner, and after that we hear It Pays to Be Ignorant, which is not really about Halloween. It just happens to occur during Halloween season, and you hear them mention that. But then we jump ahead to 1973 and WKBW in Buffalo, New York, doing its version of their original play, The Darkness. After that, we take it to 1947 with Suspense and the 13th Sound starring Agnes Moorehead. And from there we get into our creepy sci-fi series Dimension X, which is from 1950s, and then from there ended off with Lights Out by Arch Obler from 1942. But first, let's get into what Lum and Abner think about Halloween pranks. I hope you enjoy it.
Granny's, Abner. I believe that's our ring.
Dog is Lum. I believe you're right.
I'll see. Hello, jot 'em down, store. This is Lum and Abner.
And now, let's see what's going on down in Pine Ridge. Well, this is Halloween, and the old fellas have dropped everything else to join in the activities of the holiday. As we look in on the little community today, it's evening, and we find Lum attired in a ghost costume, knocking on Abner's door. Listen.
Hello? Get away from here, Blue. Get away. Abner, come out here and get this dog before I bust something over his head. Abner, get away from here, Blue. Dad, blame it. You got no sense at all?
Here, Blue, get back under the house here before I beat the daylights out of you. Ain't you ashamed of yourself running out here and barking at folks? Who is it? What do you want?
It's me. That's who it is. Get away from there, Blue. There he is.
For the land's sakes, I never knowed you lumped all that rigging on. Come on in. Let me see how you look.
Well, get that dog back here.
Oh, come on. He ain't gonna bother you.
No, he wouldn't bother you. Wouldn't do no more than take a leg off from a feller.
Why, he couldn't bite you if he wanted to. He ain't got a tooth in his head, Lum.
Granny's, he don't need no teeth. Then he bristles up and comes at a feller that way. He scares the daylights out of him.
Oh, he puts up a good bluff. Banners everything that comes on the place.
Well, he ought to have sense enough to know who I am.
Huh?
I've known him ever since he was a pup.
Well, there wouldn't nobody know you in that outfit you got on, Lum. If you ain't a sight, you look like a haint.
I'm a ghost.
What, you ought to have some horns and whiskers.
Ghost, Abner. G-O-S-T, ghost, not goat.
Oh, well, come on in. Let me look at you.
Ain't you going to the party?
No, I better not go, I reckon. Woman and Papa, they went over there, but I decided I couldn't make it.
Here, let me get this pillar case off my head. I can't see nothing.
You don't look much like a pillar.
Cut some holes in here to see through. This thing slipped around to where they're clean around in the back.
Yeah, I wonder.
Feel my way over here.
Yeah, that's a pretty good get-up you got on there, Lum. I never would have knowed you. I don't believe.
You wouldn't, huh? I thought you said this afternoon you was going to the party.
Well, I was sort of aiming on going, but then I got to studying about it and just allowed I better get out here and try to keep some of these boys out of devilment tonight if I could. I don't aim to put up with none of their carrying on tonight. They just might nigh turn this town upside down as last year, and I don't aim to stand for it again.
Oh, well, they're just having some fun.
Oh, fiddle.
Halloween don't come but once a year.
That's just once too often, too. If I catch every one of them young'uns doing a thing tonight that he oughtn't to, I'm going to throw him right smack in jail.
Oh, they don't mean no harm, Abner. Let them go. Let them have a good time.
No, sir. I'm the deputy town marshal here, and it's my job to protect folks' property. This thing of just letting young'uns in this community run wild just 'cause it's Halloween has got to stop. It's a reflect on my office, that's what it is.
Reflect on your office?
Why, sure it is. Folks will be jumping me all day tomorrow 'cause somebody has took their front gate off or wanting me to locate a wagon they pulled off or something.
Oh, they don't blame you with it, not
Yes,
on
they
Halloween
do.
night.
They do, too. They'll go off to this party and then expect me to look after all their houses and see that the young'uns don't bother nothing while they're gone.
Well, they ought to take it in the Halloween spirit. No use to get mad about it.
Well, they do, though.
Of course, the young'uns oughtn't to do no damage to nobody's property. There ain't nothing funny about that. But tic-tacking and carrying jack-o'-lanterns and one thing and another's all right.
I don't see no sense in any of it. Just looks like the young'uns here late years have just went plumb hog wild.
I don't know. Is there any worse now than they ever was, Abner?
Ain't no worse.
When most of us was growing up, we was might nigh as bad.
No, we weren't, no, we weren't.
I don't suppose you recollect who them three boys was that went over to Grandpappy Spears' house when he was having that Halloween party years ago and climbed up on top of the house and laid boards on top of the chimney and smoked everybody out of the house, do you?
What? No, me, I might not forget.
Yeah, I thought you had.
I never seen folks pile out of a house so fast in my life as that bunch. Let's see now, who was it? That was you and Caleb Wee Hunt and me, wasn't it?
That's just who it was.
Hey, don't you know, though, before we done that, we unhitched the teams that was tied out in front of the house and turned the horses and mules loose right down the big road. Everybody had to walk on.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, it was freezing cold, snowing. Was man. That was my idea, I believe. I thought that stung up, I think.
Yeah, you used to be a sight on Halloween.
Oh, I had some
Weren't
good ideas.
nothing too ornery for you to do, I reckon.
No. You recollect the time, Lum, we went over to old Vess's and throwed all his stove wood down those wells?
Oh, yeah.
Ever stick of it.
Poor old Vess had to get up the next morning and borrow wood from his neighbors before he could start a fire.
Funny thing about it, old Vess had to go to the expense of having his well cleaned out. Just ruined his drinking water, might not.
Oh, yeah, he was mad enough to buy it.
Oh, his woman carried water from the creek for months, sir.
Tried his best to find out who done that. Said if you ever found out who done it, he'd law him to the high court.
Yeah, he'd have done it, too. That's just how ornery and cranky that varmint was.
Yeah. But the funniest thing we ever done to my notions was the time we hitched old Doc Murphy's horse up backwards in the shafts to the buggy.
Doc Murphy?
Yeah.
I don't believe I recollect that.
Why, you was there. You
I
helped do
was.
it.
Well...
Don't you know, we passed by somebody's place and old Doc was making a call there and we had no more than got his horse turned around backwards in the shafts till he come out the door.
I recollect now. He never taken no notice it was so dark there, and he crawled up there and give that horse a lick with a buggy whip, and he run that buggy backwards right into a rail fence. Dumped old Doc right out.
Turned the buggy over and like to broke Doc Murphy's neck.
Oh, it did. It did.
Now that
Hold
was
him up.
ornery. That
Yeah.
was mean. Yeah, Doc orter took that horse whip and give us a good licking for that.
Well, there's another thing, too, Lum, I'll tell you. A licking in them days is something you never forgot right away. When they give you a whipping, you stayed whipped for some time, I'll say that.
I just called to mind, Abner. Do you recollect the time when me and you slipped over to Dad Foss's place?
Oh, Dad Foss's
Yeah.
place, yeah. They was all sat there at the table eating supper, and we taken a big handful of shell corn and throwed up again the dining room window like to scare them to death.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about. I never will forget it. Never will forget it.
You know, little Zooler was just fixing to take a drink of milk, and it scared her so bad she throwed that glass right in her grandpa's face.
Well, you know, Dad Foss had a big mouthful of grub at the time and scared him so bad he liked to choke to
Oh,
death.
he did.
Last time I seen him, they was in there beating him on the back. Had him laying down on the kitchen floor.
Oh, yeah, just a tromping. And, oh, man. Doggies, talking over old times this way just might not makes me want to get out and do something tonight.
Oh, go around pushing over little houses and stuff like that.
Halloween, I did love it. I'm just a good mind to hunt me up a bunch of boys and join up with them tonight, Lon.
Now, wouldn't you look good out playing Halloween pranks at your age?
What? Nobody would know who it was? What do you say, Lum? Let me get a sheet and dress up like a ghost, and we'll both go.
No, sir. Not me. I tried that a few years back.
You did, huh?
Yeah, I was coming back home from a Halloween party one night and met a big bunch of boys pulling somebody's wagon down the road. Said they's going to put it up on top of the schoolhouse, so I told them I'd just go along and help them.
Why, sure.
Sort of brung back old times to me, sort of.
Oh, yes, I ain't tried that in ages.
So we taken the wagon all apart and got up on top of the schoolhouse and pulled it up with a rope, piece at a time, set it back up together up there on top.
I helped do that once. That is a job.
Oh, it taken us might nigh till daylight the next morning.
Why, sure.
And the funny part of the whole thing, I got up the next morning to hitch up my team, and my wagon was gone. I started looking for it, and blamed if I hadn't worked all night helping put my own wagon up on top of the schoolhouse.
Well, I do know. That was a good one on you.
No, you take it all the way around, Abner. I don't believe the young'uns this day and time are any worse than they was when we was kids growing up.
Well, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Mighty easy to forget when you start getting older. You forget some of the stunts you pulled yourself.
Fact is, I don't believe they're as bad nowadays.
I don't either. They might not be.
They wouldn't do some of the ornery things we done.
I don't believe it, no.
They're getting more civilized, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. They don't tear up property like they used to, I'll admit that. They've learned, I reckon, that they can have just as much fun, maybe more, just playing pranks that don't hurt nobody.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
And here you was a while ago, had your mind all made up to go out and arrest them and throw them the last one of them in jail.
Oh, doggies. Well, I'm proud we got to talking it over. I'm just mighty nigh ashamed of myself. I believe I will dress up and go wear the party with you, Lum. Just let the young'uns have all the fun they want to tonight. Let them go, I don't care.
That's
Let them tear it up.
They ain't gonna hurt nothing.
Why,
Let
of
'em
course
go.
not.
It'd be a downright shame to bother them on Halloween night when they're just playing little old pranks that don't hurt nothing.
Why, sure, I ought to be ashamed of myself for even thinking about it. Yeah, I'll go along with you, Lum, if you don't mind.
Of course not. Come ahead. Be glad to have you.
Yeah, well, just make yourself at home, then. I'll go back here and see if I can find a bed sheet to dress myself up in. No, but I better look around and find a pillar case that's already got some holes in it, though. Elizabeth about gave me a good whooping. She catches me cutting holes in one of her good pillars. I'll find some back here somewhere.
Well, you better wait and put it on after you get out of the yard. That dog of yours will about take in after both of us.
Oh, no, he knows me, Lom. He ain't going... Uh-oh. Doggy, there goes my ring. And that's more than likely some smart aleck making a complaint already about these Halloween young'uns.
Well, just tell him that you ain't going to bother the young'uns.
I'll tell him. Hello? Yeah, this is him, but I... Who? Oh, yeah, he's sitting right here. Just a minute. Here, Lom, somebody wants you.
Wants me?
That's what they said.
Yeah. Hello? Yeah, this is Lum. Oh, hello, Charlie. Happy Halloween.
That Lom poked me out of doing that.
There.
Lum's a good sport.
Well, dad blame their ornery hides. Charlie, run over there and see if you can find out who any of them is. I'll have Abner come over there and throw the whole bunch of them in jail.
What's that, Lom?
Abner, get your coat and hat on. There's a bunch of them ornery boys over there at my place taking my front gate down and hanging it up in a tree.
Can a letter box?
No, but a sardine can.
Correct. Pay that man $8. Where was the Declaration of Independence signed?
At the bottom.
Correct. Pay that man $9 because...
It pays to be ignorant. Another half hour in radio's biggest hatch of movies with Lulu McConnell, George Shelton, Harry McNaughton, Don Novik's Rhythm Butchers, and the zaniest of the zanies, Tom Howard.
Thank you, Johnny, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Friday means fish, so here's that fishy quiz program again with a board of experts who are so dumb they think a steam shovel is used to shovel steam. First we have the celebrated author, Mr. Harry McNaughton, who has just written a book entitled Variety in Your Diet or Everything Comes to Him Who Orders Hash. But here he is, Mr. Harry McNaughton.
I have a poem, Mr. Howard.
I imagine.
Yes, dedicated to Miss McConnell.
Oh, fine.
Yes. Lulu, Lulu, will you get up? Mother, I'm not able. Lulu, Lulu, you must get up. The horse wants to use the stable.
Okay. Next we have a woman who leads a very conventional life. She follows all conventions. A woman whose husband gave her girdle away in the scrap drive. Now she's suing him for non-support. Here she is, Miss Lola McConnell.
Mr. Howard.
Yeah.
I almost had an accident last week.
You had an accident almost?
Me and my old man had a fight.
Yeah.
And he threw me out of the second-story window.
Oh, my.
And I landed on a pile of bricks.
Oh, you landed on a pile of brick? You
Yep.
don't look as if you got hurt much.
No, but it was just luck.
Just luck?
If that pile of brick hadn't have been there, I'd have landed right on the hard cement pavement.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you were lucky.
Yeah.
All right, next we have a man who used to be nervous and jerky, but he isn't nervous anymore. You've heard of Whistler's mother. Here he is, Frankenstein's father, Mr. George Shelton.
Say, you know, Mr. Hart, I ain't been feeling so good lately.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah, good news. So last week, I sent a specimen of my blood to Washington.
Yeah?
And I got a letter back this morning.
You sent blood to Washington?
Yeah.
What did they say?
Well, here, wait, I'll read the letter to you. It says, Dear Mr. Shelton, we are pleased to inform you that a patent has been granted you for your new spot remover.
Now you have met the experts. Now let's get on with the program. Here's the first question for the evening. In the new moving picture entitled Wilson, what is the name of the president the movie is about? No help from the audience, please.
Mr. Howard, if I'm not too inquisitive, was he ever president of the United States?
A very good question, Mr. McNaught.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will answer that. That's right.
Yeah, but which one? There was a lot of presidents.
Yeah, all right.
I can name them all.
Oh,
there was Washington.
Yeah.
There was Grant.
Yeah.
There was Washington.
You said Washington before.
He served two
He
terms.
served two terms. All right.
Then there was Grant. Say, you remember Grant, don't you, Miss McConnell?
Oh, sure. I do all my shopping in his store.
Ah, cut it out, please. All your shopping. Let's get... Miss McConnell, why don't you shut your mouth? Now, if you don't, I'm coming over there and shut it.
Yeah? How you going to get back?
Well, there. Now, let's get back to the question. It's about the movie.
Well, say, Mr. Howard, speaking about the movies, I have a horse that wants to join Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
He doesn't care much for Metro Goldwyn, but he's crazy to meet one of the mayors.
I can say that has nothing to do whatsoever with the question.
I was in a picture once.
Okay.
I was in love with a boy, and he was in love with me.
I see. Who was the boy? Boris Karloff? Let's get on there, please.
You know, I took my girl to a picture, Mr. Hart. I took her to see
never put it
Romeo
in.
and Juliet.
You,
The picture, Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, yes. Did you enjoy the kissing scene in the balcony?
Yeah, but the usher put us out.
music. I wish I could pick up a second-handed organ someplace. I'd get rid of that orchestra. Well, here is the next question. This question will require a great deal of thought, so listen very closely.
Yes.
Here it is. The evening before November 1st is called Halloween. Can you tell me what month this falls in? Now concentrate.
Well, Mr. Howard, I don't see anything very difficult about that question.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Well, I'm glad to hear you say that.
It's about Halloween, isn't it?
That's right.
See that? Nothing to it.
Yeah.
What's the next question?
What's the next? Please, it's not that easy. You haven't answered this question.
No?
You told me what the question was about. I want you to tell me the correct answer.
I don't like Halloween.
Who cares?
Last Halloween, somebody stole our gate.
Yeah, did you take offense?
Did you say... now, you see what you did?
Did you take offense?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
And it's got that again.
You know, I'll never forget last Halloween. I got my nose broken.
On you, it looks good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I called up a guy. I got him out of bed to answer the phone. Then I said, "Guess who?"
Yeah.
And I hung up.
Good. Are you a rat?
I know, yeah. But I say, tell me, Mr. Sheldon, how did you get your nose broken?
He guessed who.
You know how I love Halloween. Last Halloween, I went around ringing doorbells.
You did?
Yes, I sold 3 full of brushes. Then I went to a Halloween party and they served hot dogs, but they didn't have any meat in them.
Hot dogs without meat in them?
Yes, you see, they were hollow weenies.
Oh, now stop, will you? Wait a minute. What are you laughing at?
They took offense.
They took offense. Worse. Look, I'm trying to get you to answer this. Let me help you out. Look, we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September.
Yeah.
Now, what comes after September?
February, which has 28 except Milwaukee, and that's in Wisconsin.
That's in Wisconsin. Thank you. Glad to hear that. All right, here's where we have some help from the studio audience. We've invited 2 members of the audience up here on the stage. They can ask the experts a question. If they get an intelligent answer, we give them the deed to the Pentagon building in Washington. If they don't, we give them 2 tickets for last week's broadcast. While Johnny is bringing our guest to the microphone, let's have some music from our Misfit Orchestra. Last time this bunch played the Donkey Serenade, the monkeys went out on a sit-down strike. Here they are. Dr. Novick and his Boilermakers playing Poet and Peasant. Yeah. Thought that was... Every man for himself. Good. They shot the guy, which is no more than right. In a rut, folks. Oh, I'll have to get that second-handed organ if that was Port and Peasant, I'll take arsenic and old lace. I might announce at this point, ladies and gentlemen, that Dr. Novik's orchestra can be hired out to haunt houses, scatter turkeys, and empty theaters. Who is our first guest this evening, Mr. Roberts?
Our first guest tonight, Mr. Howard, is Carpenter's Mate First Class Earl Ballard of the United States Navy.
Oh, fine. How do you do, Earl Ballard? This is indeed a pleasure, and thank you a lot for coming up. Where's your hometown, Earl? We're kind of curious.
Lake Tahoe, California.
Lake Tahoe, California, my.
Oh, way out in California, huh?
Yeah, Lake Tahoe. If you're
Lake
out that way,
Tahoe.
Mr. Sheldon, drop in.
Yeah, well, put cheese on my bread and call me butter.
Yeah.
I used to work in that town.
Ah, cut it out. How many towns have you worked in?
Well, how many weeks have we been on the air?
All right, never mind.
No, I did. I worked in that town. I was a dentist in a baker shop.
You were a dentist in the baker shop?
I used to put the filling in the cream puffs.
Nice tough job.
Don't let him annoy you, Mr. Ballard. How long have you been in the service, sir?
A little over 2 years.
2 years. Congratulations. What'd you do before you entered the service?
I was a carpenter.
Oh, a carpenter. Well, it's plain to see you're going to make a good sailor, or you do make a good-looking sailor, rather.
Mr. Howard.
Yes.
I met a nice sailor on the beach last summer.
That's summer.
Now, he buried me in the sand.
You know what he was
You
doing.
did, eh? What happened?
Well, I waited 3 days, nothing happened. So I dug myself out.
I see. That's why you made a mistake. All right. Let's get on here. Stop babbling and pay attention to our guest here. Are you in New York on a furlough?
No, sir. I'm temporarily stationed here.
Oh, I see. That's fine. Well, I might say we are more than happy to have you with us here
I
this
should
evening.
say so. Well, what's your first name, honey?
Earl.
Earl.
Earl, yeah.
Oh, it's a cute name, isn't it,
Earl?
I just love that name, Earl.
Yeah.
Oh, he's a cute kid, too, ain't he?
Yeah, he's a nice sailor.
Well, you can just call me Bolivar. I'm always on time.
Man, you got a shape like Big Ben, too.
You should talk, you old worn-out pipe cleaner. Why, you're so thin when you go to a party, they use you to cut the cake with.
Right. Will you reach into the dunce cap there and pick out a question for us, Earl? And would you be kind enough to read the question when you get a hold of one? Just take your time and read it right into the microphone, if you will, please.
Name 3 wild animals found in the United States.
Now, that's a very good question. I think it's too intelligent for this program, though. Name 3 wild animals found in the United States. Now, I'll give you a hint. It's a rather a difficult question, so I'll try and help you. There's a city in New York State named after one.
City in New York State.
That's
I got it. Syracuse.
Syracuse. I said wild animals. Syracuse is not a wild animal.
That's right. I was thinking of dangaroos.
Well, that's the... Dangaroos. A wild animal?
Well, I saw one of them up at the zoo.
You did really? A dangaroos?
Yeah, well, there was a sign on the cage. It said, "Don't feed the animals, dangaroos."
Dangaroos. Mr. Sheldon, may I inform you, I've really seen better heads on the end of umbrellas. Dangerous. Let's get on with the question. 3 wild animals. The one I'm trying to get is the one that has his picture on the buffalo nickel. Now, what is his name?
Now, if we only had a nickel, we could find out quick.
Yeah. Miss McConnell, let me ask you something, Miss McConnell. You played in a good many theaters all over the country in your time, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever play Shea's Theater in Buffalo?
Oh, sure. Mike Shea?
Yeah.
Grand person, Mr.
Yeah,
Howard.
he was a fine man. Then what town was his theater in?
Toronto, Canada.
Toronto, Canada. Now, look. I agree with you. There was a Shea's Theater in Toronto, but that's not the one I mean. That was ran by Mr. Shea's brother, Jerry. The one I'm talking about is the one in New York State.
Well, Mike Shea had a theater in Buffalo, New York.
Now, fine. Now, what is the name of the animal?
Moosehead, Canada.
Moosehead, Canada. Look, Miss McConnell, I'll admit that's close, but stay out of Canada.
Why, what's the matter with Canada?
But there's nothing the matter with
Well,
Canada.
then what are you telling people to stay out of it for?
I didn't tell anyone to stay out of Canada.
You certainly did. I heard you with my own eyes.
Yeah, well, you're all right. That's how you talk with your ears, too. Look. Canada is a great country.
The idea, telling people to stay out of Canada.
Look.
You're going to get a lot of letters on that remark.
All right, please. Listen, you cheeseheads, I told no person to stay out of Canada.
You told Miss McConnell.
But she isn't the person.
Oh, I'm not. Well, what am I?
Oh, even the quiz kids couldn't answer that one. Let's go on here. Sit down. You're rocking the studio here. Let's go on, please.
I say, Mr. Howard, I mean, after all, old boy, that's not the proper way to spread the good neighbor policy, you know.
What's that?
I mean, you can't do it that way, telling people to stay out of Canada.
Are you too?
I mean, Canada is our ally, you know.
Yeah, look, please, all I'm trying to find out is the name of this animal. Look, it's a big, clumsy, big, bulky body it has. A large, shaggy head. Wobbles when it walks.
Now we're back to Miss McConnell again.
God. That was really fine. Who have we next, Mr. Roberts, please?
Well, next, Mr. Howard, we have a very lovely young lady, Miss Dorothy Jarvis of the Cadet Nurse Corps.
Well, that is fine. Good evening, Miss Jarvis. This is indeed a pleasure, and thank you also for coming up. How do you feel, Miss Jarvis?
Oh, I'm just fine, thank you.
Well, you certainly do look it. We're very glad to have you with us. How long have you been in the service?
A little over a year.
Well, congratulations to you.
The idea, telling people to stay out of
I'm not going to speak to you again, Mr. Sheldon.
Hey, the people in Canada won't talk to you either.
Pay no attention to the experts, Miss Jarvis. We'll be putting them back on their playpens in a minute now. Where's your hometown? Would you care to tell us?
Queens Village, New York.
Queens Village? Well, you're quite
That's
close.
not in Canada, Mr. Howard.
No, that's not in Canada.
Nice town, you know. Nice town, Queens Village.
Yes, it is.
Rather, yes.
Nice little hometown.
I know it well. They have a lot of beautiful things in that town.
They have?
Yes, but they've all got boyfriends.
What did you do before you entered the service?
I worked in the post office.
In Queens Village?
No, in Jamaica.
Oh, in Jamaica. That's close
That's
to
right.
Queens Village,
That's
I believe.
right.
You worked in the post office in Jamaica. You didn't play post... Oh, no, you wouldn't.
Mr. Howard, you know, funny thing, talking post offices, I mailed a letter this morning, you know, and it was raining, you see, so I put the stamps inside the envelope.
Oh, that's a good thought.
I didn't want them to get wet.
No, I can see that.
Considerate.
Would be no good if they got wet.
I'm awfully quick, you know.
Yeah. Look, Miss Jarvis, pay no attention. What were your duties in the post office in Jamaica? You delivered...
I worked in the registry department.
Oh, registered letters, right. I see.
That's right.
Yeah, I've seen people. You put the stamps
That's
on
right.
on
Numbers.
the letters. Do you put the stamps on the letter before it comes in or after you get to... No, you couldn't do that. Nick Norton's got me that way. Pay no attention. We're very, very glad to have you with us. Would you reach into the dunce cap there and pick out a question for us, please? Any question get a hold of. And would you be kind enough to read the question?
How many 2-cent stamps are there in a dozen?
How many... Well, that's a good question. That's funny that you should pick a question like that being in the post office. Looks like it was a put-up job. Well, maybe it is. Let us get on here. How many stamps are there in a dozen?
Oh, that's an easy one. Give me a pencil, somebody, and I'll figure it out.
Now, wait a minute. A pencil.
Thanks, Lou.
You don't want an adding machine, do you?
No, I can figure it out.
Just a pencil.
Just let me alone.
All right.
Why are you getting so sore about it all
You don't
the
need
time?
a pencil to figure that out.
I gotta have something to figure it out with.
Okay, use your head. Let's get on here with the question. Mr. McNaughton, can you...
Coin me up.
Oh, yeah.
Coin me.
That's a pleasure. Mr. McNaughton, can you tell us how many 2-cent stamps are there in a dozen?
Rather, yes. Wholesale or retail?
Look, that doesn't make a bit of difference.
No?
Wait a minute. Miss McConnell, are you good at arithmetic?
Am I good at arithmetic?
Yeah.
Get him. Am I good at arithmetic?
Well, are you?
No.
Mr. Howard, you know, I'm very good at arithmetic. Yes, when I went to school, I won a prize for arithmetic.
You won a prize for arithmetic?
Oh, yes, a lovely thing. Teacher asked me how much 2 times 20 was.
Yes, and what was your answer on the spur of the moment, Mr.
Without thinking, I said 34.
Yeah. You should have thought a little bit, because that's wrong.
I know, but I was closer to it than anyone else in the class. Yes.
Mr. Sheldon, how you making out there? Have you got the answer figured out yet?
Well, almost. Don't rush me now.
Oh, no. Take your time.
I've got 10 different answers here.
Oh, you're doing great.
Yeah, I'm doing grand, yeah. You give me time, I'll get more.
I see.
Which one would you like?
Which one would I like?
Yeah.
Which one do you like, Mr. Sheldon?
Oh, I like them all. They all look good to me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they all look good.
Fine. Well, suppose you pick me out the one that is right.
I haven't got to that one yet.
Oh, you haven't got to that? No, I
That'll
see.
take a little more time.
Okay, let's get on.
Algebra.
What's that?
I'm going to do it by algebra.
Yeah? You're taking a long cut, aren't you?
Is that what that is?
Yeah, you want to take a bus or something? Let's get on here. Mr. McNaughton, how much is 6 and 6?
Let's see, 6 and 6, 12.
6 and 6 are...
Oh, no. 6 and 6 can't be 12.
No, you're right, Miss McConnell.
8 and 4 are 12.
It's fine. Look, Miss McConnell, next time you go out and buy a hat, will you kindly get one with a head in it?
Yes.
Yeah, do that, will you, please? Look, Mr. Sheldon, are you still figuring?
Yeah, still figuring.
Yeah, I see.
Say, you know, in a minute I'll have a good 3-horse parlay here.
Look, let's get on here. Imagine I had to get 3 people who never went to school.
Oh, Mr. Howard, oh, no, I beg to differ. I went to school, old boy, and I'll never
Must have
forget...
been doing a blackout. You what?
I'll never forget my school days. Well, I remember the day my teacher made me turn my face to the wall.
You did? What happened?
Her garter broke.
Please, Mr. McNaughton, look. Let's try and get this answer for the young lady. The young lady was kind enough to come up there. So let's try and get the answer for her question.
Can't we go back to the Halloweeny?
Never mind the Halloweeny. How are you making out, Mr. Sheldon?
I got it.
Good. You mean you got the answer to the question?
Yeah, Buffalo, New York.
I wish our sponsor would spend a few more dollars and get a good orchestra.
One day as I was walking down the avenue, I met a funny fellow with a funny point of view.
Folks.
He didn't have a brain cell working in his head, but he was very happy, and this is what he said. It pays to be ignorant.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
It pays to be ignorant just like me. It's best not to know too much. Be a dope, your IQ shouldn't show too much. Your brain shouldn't grow too much. Wait and see. I took my girl to dinner. We had a wonderful feast. They had to give my girl the check because I couldn't read. So you see, it pays to be ignorant. Have no brain, be insane, just be ignorant. It pays to be ignorant just like me.
Tonight, Halloween, the night you are being called by the great spirits. The spirits of hard cider, the spirits of sangria, the spirits of all the wine you can drink at the library and the woodshed. Hear the call of these spirits. Heed the call of the spirits tonight, Halloween, when the great spirits warm up all the little pumpkins of Buffalo and attract them irresistibly to the library and the woodshed, where all you can drink for the entire spirit-filled night only sets you back $3.50 for guys and $2.50 for girls. And it only happens once a year, Halloween, at two places, the library on Bailey Avenue and the woodshed under the Packet Inn in North Tonawanda, where you can booze it up with the greatest of great spirits, hard cider, sangria, or all the wine you can drink. $3.50 for guys and $2.50 for gals. Music in both places, spirits in both places, pumpkins in both places, the library and the woodshed.
A little more of this, a drop more of that, and I'll have it. Think they can outsmart me, do they? I'll make one as good or better than they can. I've got all the magic powers,
Hansel, what's she doing?
I think she's cooking something, Gretel.
Yes, but what?
Listen, she's mumbling something again.
100% pure beef they use, but I've got other things. Crispy French fries, cold frosty cokes, but mine will be better, all better.
The poor thing. She thinks she can copy McDonald's secret.
Oh, that poor witch. She's trying to make a delicious tasty McDonald's hamburger, French fries, and Coke.
Taste it, and taste like bat wings. I failed again. Oh, I failed
Come
again.
on, witch. Let's all go to McDonald's for a delicious treat.
Oh, let's all go. I'd be so grateful. I love McDonald's so much.
You know, Halloween is also about disguises and masquerades and dressing up as other things that you're not. And those first two shows were actually in disguise, if you think about it. Now, traditionally those were comedy shows, comedy radio shows, but they were actually in disguise. Love and Abner, for instance, if you go back and listen to it, was really a morality play. It was a show about morals and ideas of what people thought about society. Now, you can call it a comedy show, but think about what they were saying and how their commentary on society compares with what we're going through today and how we think about the young kids and if they've changed or not. Oh, and the second show, It Pays to Be Ignorant, although that's the name of the show, it's actually just an expertly crafted radio program featuring music, comedy, and entertainment. So it was just a brilliant use of the radio format disguised as a comedy show called It Pays to Be Ignorant. Now, like a lot of the shows that were created during World War II, these shows had serious, harsh undertones to them. I mean, think about the way Lum talked about beating his dog or casually laughing about getting horsewhipped by a doctor after pulling Halloween pranks. That was a part of the culture at the time. But we'll get back to that. Let's skip ahead to 1973, where they were paying tribute to these classic radio programs by creating one of their own on WKBW in Buffalo, New York, when they did their play called The Darkness.
The darkness is a fearful thing. Fearful from lack of knowledge of its content, its purpose. What does the darkness contain? Why does it exist? Is it harmful? Is it beneficial? Is it to be feared? Listen. A police car speeds through a haunted night. A passing shower has left the pavement slick with rain, and scudding wraithful clouds become ominous shapes in the light of a slivered moon. The darkness pierced only by the lance-like beams of the car's headlights and the almost plopping sound of the rotating red eye mounted on its top. There's been an accident, some cause for alarm. Help has been requested by an unknown caller. The police have summoned a doctor on emergency duty, and now he and the policeman respond to the call.
Hang on, Doc. We're almost there.
Great. It's really a rotten night to be hurtling around in a police car. I haven't seen another car for miles.
I probably won't out here. All I use in this neighborhood is horses. Here we are.
Guess no wonder this place is still standing. It's sure run down.
Sure looks that way in the dark. Hey, watch out for that long...
Two men stepped from the automobile, shoes crunching on the gravel, leaves that lay on the ground around them. And as they walked, they tried to joke with one another to lighten the mood.
We didn't come all this way for a crank.
Look out for that step. It's loose.
Approaching the steps of the desperate-looking house, an eerie feeling began to overcome both of them. A feeling of apprehension that all was not right. It was so dark. So very, very...
I'll knock.
Try again.
There doesn't seem to be anybody around. No, I'll try the door. It's open. Let's go in.
Okay.
Cautiously, they entered the ramshackle house, clothed in the deepest, blackest night of the year. The beam of the flashlight crashed from corner to corner, disrupting the dust that lay there undisturbed for years, it seemed. Small, scurrying sounds in the walls spoke for the rodent occupants, and a flitting shadow made them duck their heads.
Oh, bats. What a creepy place.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Doesn't seem to be anyone here. Hello? Hello? Oh, what in God's name is that?
I came from the next room, but... Oh!
Are you all right? Oh, what happened? Where's the lights?
Oh, I just fell over a chair. It busted my flashlight.
Well, strike a match or something. There's someone in this room. There, in the corner, an old woman.
Wait a minute. Ow! I burned my fingers.
Well, strike another one quickly.
There. Oh, wait a minute. There's a lamp over there, a kerosene lamp. Maybe if I could...
Well, check it, see if there's any fuel.
Yeah, well... Yeah, there's fuel in it. Wait a minute, let me light it. There. At least that's a little bit better than the dark.
Bring that thing over here to look at her.
Hey, I know that woman. She used to live in town a couple of years ago. Kids used to call her a witch. Seems she had a kid, a young man. Should be about 25. They moved from town a couple of years ago and then dropped completely out of sight. I haven't seen her since... Well,
aside from the fact that she's very old, there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with her. Did you call us out here, old woman?
Hey, what do you think we ought to do?
I suppose we ought to take her back to the hospital for examination. If there's nothing wrong, they'll release her in the morning and no harm done. There must be something wrong with her. Maybe a neighbor called in. I feel that we ought to take her.
I don't know. She's shaking her head no, Doc.
Oh, what is it, old woman? Can you talk to me? Can you tell me what's wrong? I tell you, we ought to take her back to the hospital.
She's pointing to that room over there, Doc. That door over there.
Is there something behind that door, old woman? Is there something behind that door that we should know about?
Yeah, I think we ought to take a look before we do anything else, Doc. Maybe your kid is having a fit or something. Maybe he's hurt.
Is that it, old woman? Is your boy behind that door? Is your boy behind that door?
The policeman left the woman's side and crossed the room to try the door.
It's locked.
Crude yellow glow from the kerosene lantern cast lurid shadows on the wall of the filthy room. The movements of the policeman and the doctor appeared as huge caricatures of themselves on the surrounding enclosure. The old crone sat in the corner, chuckling insanely to herself as the two men puzzled out the meaning of the mystery they had stumbled onto. Even the flickering, meager light from the lantern across the room could not hide the fear that showed in each other's eyes. Could not quench the burning curiosity as to what lay behind the door. Could not dispel the feeling of anxiety as they approached the door together. The old woman, dimly lit in the corner of the room, showed her yellowed teeth in a grotesque grin as they moved from her and made not a sound as they touched the handle of the door.
Locked, huh? I suppose we'll have to break it in.
Now, stand back. Let me put my shoulder to it. There. Let me reach in and unlock it from the inside.
Open?
Yeah, I got it.
Putrid light the kerosene lantern threw was all but swallowed up by the immense darkness of the room as the smashed door swung back on its hinges. The men peered into the room, trying to divine its contents. All to no avail. Apprehensively, the doctor turned on his heel and strode across the room to where the old woman was sitting. Crouched near her, hissed through fear-clenched teeth.
Is it in there? Is that where you want us to go?
For the first time, the old crone made some visible motion. An arm upraised from the billows of filthy cloth that surrounded it. A gnarled hand with prominent blue veins close to the surface of yellowed parchment skin appeared. And a crooked, misshapen finger pointed with broken, filthy nails. At the door...
Whatever it is we're here for, it's in that room. Hey, I don't like it, Doc. I don't like the looks of this. I'm going to call for help. I'm going to go out to the car radio for help.
And don't be a fool. Whatever's in there may be in trouble. Whatever's in there, we may already be too late.
Or too early. The doctor covered his fear with patient resolve and, sweeping up the lantern, strode viciously across the room, beckoning the policeman to follow him. He stopped at the door and, swinging the lantern heavily in his hand, hesitated a moment, and then thrust it into the room. His motion caused the lamp to swing high, and the full impact of even that feeble flame caused them to blink for a moment, readjust their eyes again to the gloom. Shading his eyes against the glare the lantern held high, the doctor swept the room with his glance.
I don't see anything.
This is foolish. Let's take the old woman...
Wait.
What is it?
Quiet. There. In the corner.
What? My God. My God. What the hell is that? What kind of a place is this?
The two horror-stricken men stared at the mass in the far corner of the room. A glutinous shape that defied the imagination. An indescribable horror of flesh made them recoil in terror.
Get a hold of yourself. I'm going to take a closer look.
Doc, don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Shut up, you idiot.
What the hell is this?
You won't believe this. It's a man. A man turned inside out.
The shapeless hulk lay in the corner. And in the light of the lantern, dim as it was, some form could be distinguished.
It moved, Doggy. It moved.
It's alive. My God. A man turned inside out and still alive. Look at it. Look at it, you fool. The skin is the inside, and the raw sinews and flesh are the outside. All the organs exposed. The eyes inside out.
Doc, kill it. Do something. Put it away.
It's moving.
Kill it, Doc.
My God, it's moving. It's trying to get to... Oh, hold that lantern higher. There. There's a door.
Another door in the corner of the room. It's trying to get there. I'm going to open it.
Doc, don't stay away from that door. Let me call for help.
I'm going to open that door.
No.
Whoever did this is probably hiding in there. Hold the lantern higher.
What do you see?
Nothing but darkness. Darkness. Bring the lantern here.
Doc, I'm scared.
Bring the lantern here, you fool. Hurry. Hold it high so I can see.
The man crossed the room with the light and held it high to gain its fullest light. The two men stood silently for a moment, listening, hearing only one another breathing, and the mumbling sounds of the creature in the corner.
The light. If the light doesn't penetrate it, it doesn't cut the darkness at all. It's almost a solid wall of darkness. Look. You can almost feel it.
Don't reach in there. No.
Police had reached up and grabbed the doctor's outstretched arm and pulled it down. The doctor had put out his hand to explore the depth of the room, and the policeman stopped him.
Cut it out, you idiot!
Don't put your hand in there. Can't you see how the light doesn't get in there at all? It's like a solid wall. Come on, let's get out of here.
My arm?
He tugged at the doctor's arm to draw him away from the door. The man resisted, his curiosity overcoming his fear of the unknown, of the darkness.
Let go of my arm. I gotta find out.
Look at the floor.
Oh, my God.
It's creeping out. The darkness is creeping out of the room. It's almost like it's leaking.
The darkness had begun to creep out of the room like a rivulet of sweat that runs down your back. The small tentacles of darkness now extended themselves across the floor of the room, reaching out for the two men where they stood.
Shut the door quickly. Shut that door on the thing.
Now let's get out of here. Let's go and call for help and get away from this place.
What about this thing in the corner?
There's nothing you can do for him.
The woman. Stop, you woman!
You stop!
The old crone had crept quietly behind him, not making a sound all the while they stood at the door of the closet staring at the inky mass. Now, as they moved toward the door of the room, she threw open the door of the closet to trap the darkness behind it and unleashed it in the small room.
She's opened the door. Look, get out.
Stand back, I've got my revolver.
I won't do any good. Look, it's coming out. It's gathering around her legs.
It's crawling around her body. I can't look.
The two men stood horror-stricken, fear making their hearts pound. Their throats constricted with dryness, and the sour taste of terror filled their mouths as they watched the heavy, black mass undulate out of the closet and snake around the old woman's body. It crept around her waist, and small fingers like vines shot up to trap her arms to her side. With smoke like ghostliness, it moved round her shoulders and clutched at her head, smothering her insane laughter that greeted this creature of evil. There was silence for a moment. The darkness wreathed itself around the form of the woman, masking all shape, all human configuration in a billowing mass of darkness. And then...
Inside out. It turned her inside out. Come on, man. Get up. Get up. We've got to get out of here. Get up.
The man was overcome by the sight of the old woman's hideous change. He fell to the floor, prostrate with fear.
Can't lift him. He's too heavy. Wake up. Damn it, wake up. Gotta get him out of here. It's moving closer to us now. I gotta try and lift it. It's got my legs, my feet.
Darkness had crept across the floor of the room, ensnaring the doctor in his struggles to lift his comrade. It reached for his feet and legs, and struggle as he might, he couldn't rid himself of its hold.
Get loose. Get loose. Let's try for the door. Try to crawl.
He moved from the form of his fallen companion and tried to struggle to the door. And now there seemed to be some success. He was able to move his legs, and then he knew why. The darkness was preoccupied with his friend. Again, he watched in fascinated terror as the hissing, slithering, bilious mass crept over the prostrate form there on the floor. Again he watched as the resolution of human form disintegrated before his eyes. All thoughts of escape left his mind as he watched terror-stricken, knowing what was coming, unable to tear his eyes away. The wraithful black ether that gathered itself in one humping mass. And then quickly coming to his senses, the doctor summoned his courage from a human reservoir untapped, save for times like these, and made for the door. A tentacle of darkness shot out from the mass, gathered itself around his knees, and brought him crashing to the floor.
It's got me! Got to get away. Got to get away from it. Smother me. Smother me. Turn me inside out. My legs. My arms. Fight, you fool. Fight. Fight. It's only smoke. It's only smoke. Fight. Fight. Break free. Gotta break free. Gotta get away. Got to. My head. My eyes. I can't see. My mouth. It's covering my mouth. Get me. Fight, you fool. Gotta get away.
The darkness surrounds us all. Deep, black, inky darkness. Unfathomable darkness that absorbs you like a shroud. It clothes you like fine cloth, clinging to you, resolving itself to human form, taking you to its bosom. Friendly darkness, warm darkness, hissing, creeping, tentacles. Darkness.
Listen to William Castle, whom the Saturday Evening Post calls the master of movie horror.
Do you believe in ghosts? I do. And you will too, when you come to this theater and see my picture, 13 Ghosts. No more dictation today. When you see 13 Ghosts, you'll be given a supernatural viewer like this, which will enable you to penetrate for the first time into the spirit world. It will let you see all 13 of our weird, wonderful, and wildly assorted ghosts.
Now, brace yourself as we take you across the threshold of our haunted mansion, where there's a ghost for everyone in the family. Father, mother, sister, brother. You'll be scared stiff too when you see what they see. 13 ghosts, materializing in ectoplasmic color through the magic of Illusiono, the Ghost Viewer. Ah! The ghost of a lion in the basement. The ghost of a murderous cook in the kitchen.
Stop it! Stop it, I say!
The ghost who speaks through the lips of the living. Death tonight. 2, One of you? Ah! The evil ghost in the bedroom, fighting to take possession of this beautiful girl. You'll feel all the thrills and chills of seeing one ghost multiplied by the magic number 13.
Suspense. Tonight, Roma Wines bring you Miss Agnes Moorehead in The 13th Sound, a suspense play produced, edited, and directed for Roma Wines by William Spear.
We were driving too fast, but I knew that if I slowed down at all, I would begin to tremble. And so, although the road was tortuous, climbing steeply up the mountain, I kept my foot pressed hard on the gas pedal. Out of the corner of my eye, I could see that my husband was looking quietly into the green valley far below. He looked peaceful now. He had made his speech about driving too fast. I'd asked him to be quiet, and now he was quiet. I wondered what he would do if I stopped the car and told him right then that we were driving up to the Johnson house so that I might kill him. I parked the car on the highway at the foot of the dirt road leading up to the house. We walked quickly behind the heavy trees. My husband stopped once to wipe the dust off his shoes. I hurried him on, and we soon arrived at the front door. As planned, I'd forgotten the key. I did open my purse and look, however, and that gave me the opportunity to release the safety catch on the gun I had borrowed from my husband's belongings. I suggested that we try one of the windows. He agreed, and we slowly made our way through the underbrush that was growing wild at the side of the stucco building until we reached the first-floor window. The window was set high above the ground, and my husband had to stretch his body to reach it. I waited until he had his back to me, with his hands raised high in the air, reaching for the window frame. Then I opened my purse, took out the gun, aimed very carefully at a spot just in the center of his left shoulder blade, and pulled the trigger 4 times. He didn't fall right away. He had had his fingers over the window ledge, ready to unfasten the catch when the bullets hit him. With some terrible effort, he dug his nails into the stucco and tried to keep from dying. I couldn't move. I wanted to scream, but my throat felt paralyzed. He tried to turn his face and look at me, but he hadn't that much life left. At last, he fell. I stopped screaming finally. I felt better for it. I bent and looked at my husband's body. He was quite dead. I wiped off the gun, his gun, and threw it behind an acacia bush. Then I walked back to the car, slowly and carefully removing any of my footprints which showed in the loose dirt of the road. At the car, I emptied some cigarette butts from the dashboard ashtray onto the road, dusted my shoes, then turned around and drove home. I put the car in the garage, went in and had my shower, and lay down in the library to wait. A few minutes after the grandfather clock struck 11, the telephone rang. Hello?
Miss Skinner?
This is she.
This is Jonathan Brown, Sheriff's Office. I have some bad news for you.
My husband?
Yes, ma'am. He's been killed. Miss Skinner? Hello, Miss Skinner. You all right?
I waited quietly for a moment. and I let the phone fall to the floor. I listened until I heard Jonathan Brown hang up. Then I replaced my telephone on its stand, went into the kitchen for some ice, which I put in a large Turkish towel. I then arranged myself carefully and attractively on the living room divan, and waited again.
Miss Skinner.
In here, please.
Oh, yes. Thank you. All right, Miss Skinner. That was a stupid thing for me to do, breaking news that way, you know.
Oh, I'm all right.
Well, I came over as soon as you dropped the phone.
Well, I felt faint suddenly.
Well, and no wonder.
Tell me what happened, Mr.
Brown, Jonathan Brown, Sheriff's Office.
Mr. Brown, please sit down.
Oh, thank you. Well, your husband was up at the Johnson house this afternoon, as well as we can figure. Up there on the side of the mountain, you know, and he must have been trying to get into the window, and somehow, somebody, shot him. You sure you want me to tell you?
I'm sorry. Go on, please.
Well, we looked around the place, couldn't see anything. Though we found the, weapon. It was a gun. Found in the brush near where he was, and no footprints or anything, except tire marks down the main highway and a bunch of cigarette butts where someone must have been sitting in the car, waiting, you know.
Those were my tire marks.
You was up there?
Well, I had an appointment to meet my husband this afternoon at the foot of the road leading up to the Johnson house. He had said that he'd had some business to attend to and would get a ride with this other person. He was very mysterious about it. I waited for an hour or more at the foot of the road. You were so clever to recognize the meaning of those cigarette stubs.
Well,
And when he didn't come, I thought perhaps I was mistaken about the appointment. And so I drove home. Only think about perhaps I'd gone up to the house, I might have saved my poor dear husband's life.
They're not terrible talk, I know.
I'm all right. I'm all right. I'll be all right.
Well, now, don't you worry about a thing, Miss Skinner. The sheriff's office will round up the guilty party or parties and have them brought to trial, you know.
Yes, I'm sure. I slept well that night for the first time in 10 years. My husband during his lifetime had snored loudly and steadily, and during his later years he had acquired the nervous and distressing habit of grinding his teeth in his sleep. This night all was quiet and peaceful in the house, in my house, and as I say, I slept beautifully. The next few days were also beautifully quiet. A few photographers and newspaper men, but they were kind and gentle and didn't make too much bother. Finally, Mr. Jonathan Brown called to say that he would send a car for me on Friday morning, the next day as it turned out, to take me to the coroner's inquest. The small courtroom was crowded, and almost everyone there eyed me with great sympathy. The inquest proceeded evenly. There was as yet no evidence as to the identity of my husband's murderer. I again stated that I had left the tire marks and cigarette stubs at the foot of the road that led to the Johnson house. No, I hadn't heard a shot. No, my dear husband had no enemies. Then...
I've had this blackboard brought to court so that I might show the position of the body when found. I think it might be of interest.
Very well. Proceed.
The body was found just below the first-story window on the left side of the house. The dead man was obviously trying to gain admittance, you know. He didn't die immediately, as I will show you, but stayed alive long enough to try to keep himself from falling, since marks from each of his fingernails were found running down the side of the building. Here, then, is the window sill, and here are the marks of his fingernails, and here is the spot where the body lay when it was discovered. And here is the house.
As he talked, he watched me.
Ground floor.
And I didn't know why until I heard the first scrape of the chalk against the blackboard. For one awful moment, it was the sound that had been made by my husband as he tried so desperately to hold himself alive. I found myself tightly holding the wooden table in front of me, my arms and body tense, trying not to faint.
Since a large deposit of the dried stucco from the building was found under each of the victim's fingernails, I believe I can best illustrate the manner of the victim's last moments with a physical illustration. Suppose I am the victim, and this blackboard is the side of the building. We hear the gunshots, and then the victim slowly sinks to the ground.
Oh, please. Please, I can't say. Please, don't make that. No.
The ultimate in adult and unadulterated horror. Bursting onto the screen in the most lavishly beautiful, sensationally shocking picture of modern times. Blood and Roses, starring two alluring continental beauties, introduced by Roger Vadim, the stormy genius who gave you Bridget Bardot. Annette Vadim, filling the screen with the all-pervading scent of chilling fear. Elsa Martinelli, whose exquisite loveliness marked her as the victim of an indescribable horror. Mel Ferrer, haunted by the curse that was centuries old. A girl whose secret is reflected in an image too dreadful for the eye to behold.
Adventures in time and space, told in future tense. Dimension Can you predict the future? Can you tell what will come in 100 years? Or in 10? Or in the next minute? Tonight we present two ventures into the unknown. Two fantasies of the future, chosen from the works of one of our most brilliant young science fiction writers, Ray Bradbury. First, his story entitled, There Will Come Soft Rains. The house was a good house, planned and built to be lived in the year 1980. The real estate agent had told them all about it.
Now, this is the bedroom. Of course, it contains all the latest devices, self-warming blankets, and, there's a brand new feature. Beds, which make themselves. Now, if you'll just step this way through the library, we can see the latest in talking book recorders, self-building fireplace, self-cleaning robot dust disposal. Oh, these little mouse-like things come out of the wall and take away all the dirt. Now, over this way. As a complete robot kitchen, of course. Just set the menu for the week and the stove does the rest. Then there's the automatic hydroponic garden, self-sprinkling fire protection. See, the house is fully automatic. Why, you could go away for a year and it would run itself.
And so the family took the house. The man and the woman and the two children, a boy and a girl.
And they lived contentedly, enjoying music and poetry and the rich, warm things in life. And the house fed them and slept them and entertained them. It made a good life for them. Until one day, there were 10,000 explosions, and the world shook, and red fire and ashes and radioactivity fell from the sky. The happy time was over.
Tick-tock, 7 o'clock. Time to rise. Open your eyes. Tick-tock, 7 o'clock. Time to rise. Open your eyes.
But the house lay empty. The clock talked to the empty morning. In the kitchen, the stove sighed and ejected from its warm interior 8 eggs, sunny side up, 12 bacon slices, 2 coffees, and 2 cups of hot cocoa.
7-9, breakfast time, come and dine, 7-9.
Today is April 28th, 1985. Today, remember, is Mr. Featherstone's birthday. Insurance, gas, atom heat, and electricity bills are due.
In the walls, relays clicked, memory tapes glided under electric eyes, recorded voices moved beneath steel needles.
8-1, run, run, off to school, off to work, run, run, tick-tock, 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
But no doors slammed. No carpets took the quick tread of rubber heels. At 8:30, the eggs began to shrivel. An aluminum wedge scraped them into the sink.
9:15, time to clean, 9:15, time to clean.
Out of the wall, hundreds of tiny mechanical mice darted. The rooms were acrawl with small cleaning animals, all rubber and metal. They sucked up the hidden dust and dirt and popped back into their burrows. At 10 o'clock, the sun came out from behind the rain. The house stood alone on a street where all the other houses were rubble and ashes. At night, the ruined town gave off a radioactive glow which could be seen for miles. At 10:15, the garden sprinkler filled the soft morning air with golden fountains. The water tinkled over the charred west side of the house, the side which had been facing the blast. It was black, except in 5 places. One of the 5 places was a silhouette of a man mowing a lawn, just as he'd been the instant the radioactivity burned his image into the side of the house. Over there, a woman bent to pick flowers. Still further over, their images burned into the wood, where a small boy, hands flung into the air, higher up the image of a thrown ball, and opposite, a girl, her hands raised to catch a ball which never came down. 5 people. 5 spots of paint. On the front porch, the dog whined and shivered. The front door recognized the dog's voice and opened. The dog padded in wearily, thin to the bone, covered with sores. It ran to the kitchen and pawed the kitchen door wildly. Behind the door, the stove was making pancakes which filled the house with their odor, as prescribed by the automatic preset menu selector. The dog frothed, ran insanely, spun in a circle, biting its tail, and died.
1 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
Delicately sensing decay, the regiments of mice hummed out of the walls, soft as blown leaves, their electric eyes glowing.
1:15.
The dog was gone.
2:15.
Bridge tables unfolded from the walls of the patio. Playing cards fluttered onto pads. Martinis appeared on an oaken bench. But the tables were silent, the cards untouched.
5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Dinner was made, ignored, flushed away. Dishes were washed. In the study, the tobacco stand produced a cigar with half an inch of gray ash upon it, smoking, waiting, waiting. The hearth fire bloomed out of nothing.
9 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
The beds began to warm their hidden circuits, and the phonograph spoke from beside the fireplace.
Mrs. McClelland, what poem would you like to hear this evening? Mr. McClelland? Since you express no preference, I shall select at random from among your favorites. Sarah Teasdale, There Will Come Soft Rains.
There will come soft rains, and the smell of the ground, and swallows circling with their shimmering sound, and frogs in the pools singing at night, and wild plum trees in tremulous white. Robins will wear their feathery fire, whistling their whims on a low fence wire, and not one will know of war. Not one will care at last when it is done. Not one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone.
The phonograph finished the poem. The empty chairs faced each other between the silent walls. At 10 o'clock that evening, the house began to die. The wind blew the bough of a falling tree into the kitchen window, smashing it. A bottle of cleaning fluid crashed on the stove. Water pumps shot down from the ceiling. But the solvent spread onto the doors, making fire as it went. Other voices in other rooms taking up the alarm. The windows broke with the heat, and the wind blew in to help the fire. The fire crackled upstairs at paintings, lay hungrily on the beds, devoured the rooms. The house began to shudder. The bared skeleton began to cringe in the heat. The wires revealed as if a surgeon had torn the skin off. Voices screamed in every room. Windows snapped open and shut like undecided mouths. A thousand things were happening at once. Like the interior of a clock shop at midnight, all the clocks were striking, making a merry-go-round of squeaking, whispering, and rushing. In the kitchen, the stove hissing hysterically was making breakfasts at a psychopathic rate. 10 dozen pancakes, 6 dozen loaves of toast. Then, there was silence. The film spools were burned out. The wires withered and the circuits cracked. Then the house began to breathe its last. The beams began to give at the foundations. Long cracks appeared in the concrete. The seams were burst from the heat. And finally, with a huge rumble, it crashed into dust and rubble. Dawn shone faintly in the east. In the ruins of the house, only one wall remained standing. And within the wall, even as the sun rose to shine upon the burning rubble, a voice spoke again and again and again.
No one would mind, neither bird nor tree, if mankind perished utterly. And spring herself, when she woke at dawn, would scarcely know that we were gone. That we were gone. That we were gone. That we were gone.
Today is April 29th, 1985. Today is April 29th, 1985.
Strange are the uses of Providence. Is this how the end will come for mankind, with 10,000 explosions and a flash of radioactive gas? Or will destruction come more subtly, extended to us gently and innocently in, let's say, the hand of a child? Who knows in what manner 0 hour may arrest the world we know? It was a perfect summer day in the year 1985. The streets were lined with green, peaceful trees. Businessmen sat in their quiet offices, taping their voices or watching televisors. Rockets hovered like darning needles in the blue sky. There was the universal quiet conceit and easiness of men accustomed to peace, quite certain that there would never be war or trouble again. There were no traitors among men, no unhappy ones, no disgruntled ones. The world was upon stable ground. Sunlight illumined the suburbs, and the town drowsed on a tide of warm, sunlit air. On the lawns, the children played, catapulting this way and that across the green grass, shouting at each other, holding hands, flying in circles, climbing trees, and laughing. And in the homes, busy mothers prepared for the evening arrival of their husbands.
Excuse me, Mom.
Good heavens, Mick, what's all the excitement?
We're playing a game, Mommy, the most exciting game ever.
What are you doing in that cabinet?
I need some tools from Daddy's kit.
Your father may not like...
Oh, I'll take good care of them, Mom, I promise.
Very well. Don't you lose anything.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
You want a glass of milk?
Can't stop now, Mom.
What's the name of the game, Mink?
Invasion.
Invasion. What will they think of next?
Now this, and this, and this, and this. Now put that there and bring that over here. Oh, no, you ninny. Now get back while I fix this. There, they want it this way, see? Here, just let me fix it. Oh, Mink, it's that smarty pants Joseph Connors. Don't let him play. He's 12 years old. Don't worry, I won't.
What you playing, Mink?
None of your business, smarty pants.
I want to play.
Can't.
Why not?
You're too old.
Just 'cause you're only 8.
No, you'd only laugh at us and spoil the invasion. Make him go away, Mink. Go away. This is my backyard.
Who wants to play with you and your old fairies anyway?
They aren't fairies.
Nuts to you. I don't want to play anyway. Good riddance. I'm glad you didn't let him play, Mink.
He'd only laugh. Now, we'd better talk to Drill and get some more instructions, Art. Now, here's your pad and pencil.
Where is Drill? Drill? Here, Drill. Drill?
Well, he's in the rose bush, I think. I'll talk to him myself, and you write it down in the pad.
Okay.
Drill? Drill? Okay. Drill wants you to write down triangle.
What's a triangle?
Never mind. Drill will tell us when he wants us to know. It helps the invasion.
How do you spell it?
Well, I'll ask Drill. Drill, how do you spell...
Here's your mother, looking out the window.
Mink?
Yes, Mother?
Who are you talking to?
The rose bush, Mom. Only it's not really a rose bush. That's Drill.
Who's Drill?
He's planning the invasion.
Oh, I see. Well, you better come in and clean up for supper. Your daddy will be home soon.
In just a second, Mom. You got that, Art?
See now what? 4, 9, 7, and A, and B, and X, and a fork, and some string, and a hexagonal droopy.
Come on, Mink. Supper's in 10 minutes.
Okay, Mom. Just a minute. I have to tell Drill. I wish we didn't have to eat, though. It holds up the invasion.
Mink, for heaven's sake, slow down. You'll choke on that soup.
I can't, Mom. It's a matter of life and death.
What's a matter of life and death?
The invasion.
What invasion is that?
Oh, just some silly game the children have been playing.
Well, whatever it is, Mink, it'll wait until you've finished your supper, I'm sure.
I don't want any more.
You've barely touched anything.
Oh, but Drill is waiting for me, Daddy.
Drill? Who's Drill?
He lives in a rose bush in our backyard. Imagination, Henry.
Such nonsense.
I've got to run now.
You'll sit through dessert, young lady.
Oh, gee, Daddy.
And while you're at it, tell me more about this new game.
It's Martians invading Earth, Daddy.
What?
Well, not exactly Martians, Daddy. They're from... Well, gee, I don't know. From up.
And from inside that little head of yours.
You're laughing at me. Drill said you would. You'll kill Drill and everybody.
Oh, I didn't know you could kill a Martian.
But it's not really a Martian, Mom. Maybe he's from Jupiter or Venus, even.
Imagine.
They couldn't figure out a way to attack the Earth. We are impregnable.
Impregnable, dear.
Well, that's the word Drill said, Well, anyway, that was the word, Mom, the same word. Anyway, so we're helping them.
Now, who's helping who?
Well, the kids are helping the Martians.
Oh, fifth column, eh?
Well, Drill says in order to make a good fight, you gotta have a new way of surprising the people. That way you win. And he says also you gotta have help from your enemy.
Pretty slick, those Martians, using the kids for a fifth column, eh, Mary?
And hiding under rose bushes, too, Henry. Don't forget that.
Well, that's because grown-ups never look under rose bushes. Only kids.
Oh, I see. Well, finish your fruit, darling. You can play for an hour afterward.
Mary.
Oh, it's so nice out, Henry, and there's no school tomorrow.
Very well. Till 8 o'clock.
Drill says after the invasion, we can stay up as late as we want. No more bets, either.
Oh, is that so?
We can watch all the grown-up televisor shows.
I don't wonder this invasion has caught on among the kids.
Well, some of the kids are giving us trouble, like Dale Britz and Petey Jarrett. They're growing up so they won't believe in the invasion. They make fun, worse than parents even. I hate them worst. We'll kill them first.
I hope you're saving your father and me for last.
But Drill says you're dangerous.
What?
But I think they'll let me keep you because I'm helping so much. I'll talk to Drill. Maybe we won't have to kill you.
Mary, I think this nonsense has gone far enough.
Can I go out now, please?
Well, run along, dear.
Don't worry, Dad. I won't let them hurt you.
Mary, I think the child's taking this game entirely too seriously. Invasion.
Now, Henry, you know how Mink is. Besides, all children have their aggressions. Better to get them out in the open, I suppose.
Maybe you're right. I was wondering about bridge with the Jacksons tonight, Mary.
All right. But, you look tired, dear. Why don't you sit in the relaxer for a while and get a massage? I'll sew for a while until it's time to... Oh, I wanted to call my sister Helen.
Oh, good. Find out when her husband's going to return my golf clubs.
Televisor.
Would you please connect me with Mrs. Helen Rogerson on Channel 72Z, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania?
What is your channel, please?
817X, New Rochelle, New York.
Thank you. Just a moment. Go ahead. You can see your party now.
Hello, Mary. How are things in New York?
Fine, Helen. How are things in Pittsburgh? You look tired.
Oh, I've been having a terrible time with the children.
Sick?
No, just underfoot. They've got a new game that's got me just about crazy. It's called Invasion.
Did you say invasion?
That's right.
Well, isn't that strange? My Mink is playing it, too.
My boy Tim is all involved with some imaginary fellow named Drill who's running the invasion.
Must be a new password. Mink likes him, too.
How do you suppose these games start? My backyard looks like a scrap drive. They've got every conceivable kind of mechanical gadget arranged out there. I talked to Josephine Schiller in Boston, and she says her kids are wild about it, too. It's sweeping the country.
Remember when it was the Roomba?
Please, dear, I'm not that old.
Mommy!
Oh, please, Minky, I'm on the televisor. Come on, see your Aunt Helen.
Hello, Mink.
Hi, Aunt Helen. Look what I've got.
What is it, honey?
Well, it's a yo-yo. Look when I unroll it. See?
Well, Helen, look, it vanished. Where did it go?
Into another dim...
She means dimension. Aren't they the darndest things? My Timmy brought one home, too. I can't figure out how they work. Make it reappear, honey.
There. See, it's easy.
Oh, where'd you get it, dear?
Drill gave it to me, Mom.
Mink?
Bye, Aunt Helen. Gotta run now.
Mink, you come back here. I want to talk to you.
Can't, Mom. 0 hours, 5 o'clock.
Mink!
Bye!
Oh, I can't understand it. The child's never been so unruly. Helen... Do you suppose that...
What?
Nothing. Just a wild thought that... Say, the reason I called, I want to get that black and white cake recipe, and Henry wants his golf clubs. I don't know what he'll do.
What was that?
I don't know. One of the children must have been hurt. I'll have to run and see. Call me back tonight, will you?
All right, Mary. Bye.
Mink, come here.
Yes, Mom.
What is it? Who screamed?
Peggy Ann.
All right, what happened?
Well, she got scared and went home.
Did you hit her?
No, she just got scared. She's a scared baby anyway. We won't let her play anymore. She's getting too old.
Now, Mink, tell me why she cried.
No, I can't.
Mink, you'll answer me this instant or come inside. I've had enough of this nonsense.
Gee, I can't quit now, Mom. It's almost 0 hour.
Then tell me what frightened Peggy Ann.
Okay, she saw Drill.
Drill?
He almost came through. He was just testing.
Through what?
With those pipes and things we set up. She looked into one of the pipes and screamed. I guess she saw Drill.
And no one hit her? Very well, Mink. I'll call Peggy Ann's mother and see how she is. And I'll call you for your bath in half an hour. Your father and I want to go out tonight.
You won't be able to go out, Mom.
Why not?
0 hour is 5 o'clock, Mom.
Hello, dear.
Oh, you home already, Henry?
Yes, I thought I'd relax a little before we went to theater. Where's the little one?
Out back.
Same game?
Same game. They've got a stack of pipes and hammers and spoons a mile high out there.
Children, why do we have them?
Yeah, strange little creatures, aren't they? Even Mink, Henry. She's a part of us, and yet what do we really know about how she thinks and feels?
Oh, I didn't mean to start a philosophic discussion.
Kids are such a queer mixture of love and hate, though. Even normal, healthy kids. They need you and they're dependent on you, and yet they resent that dependence.
You sound like a child psychology course I once took.
I wonder if they ever really forgive the whippings and the commands we have to give them sometimes. I wonder if we ever forgot them when we were children.
Look, I'd like to discuss this with you, dear, but we do have a theater date, and it's almost 5 o'clock now. What's happened to the kids? They're so quiet. When children are quiet, you know there's some mischief. What's that sound?
I don't know.
Those kids aren't playing with anything electrical, are they?
I'm sure they aren't. At least I
Just the same, I'd better go out and
Henry.
see.
Tell them to put off the invasion.
What? Mary, don't get upset. It's just a game. Good Lord, what's that? Look out the window, Mary. What is it? Where are the children? Mary, why are you shaking? What did you see?
Henry, quick, up to the attic.
They aren't in the attic.
Yes, the attic. Quick.
Mary, come back here. Mary! Mary, don't go up. They aren't up there. Mary, you out of your mind? There's no one up here.
Quick, shut the door. Lock it.
But there's nothing up here. What is wrong with you? Mary, come to your senses. What are you talking about?
I saw it through the window, Henry. It was horrible.
What?
It is an invasion.
Well, for heaven's sake, let's get down out of this attic and talk this over sensibly. I want to find out if Mink is all right.
She's all right. I saw her. She was leading them around the corner of the house.
Leading who? The kids?
Shh.
It's nothing.
Oh, listen.
Huh?
The front door. They're coming.
Good Lord, those kids sound like 50 men with boots on.
Oh, not men. Oh, please, God, don't let them find us. Don't let them, please, God.
I don't understand. Who's there?
Shh, don't shout down here.
Who's down there? I demand that you answer me.
They're coming. The whole house is shaking.
Who's there?
Please, be quiet, Henry. They might go away. Henry.
Mom? Dad? Are you in the attic?
Henry, listen.
It's Mink. Mink, we've got to save her.
Henry, you don't understand. She's leading them.
What?
She's leading them. She's on their side. Oh, please, God, forgive them.
The children on their side?
Oh, she told us, but we wouldn't believe her. Henry, they're coming out!
Yeah?
Come on! Elsie! The dog! Oh, dear God!
Mom? Dad? Oh, I see you now. Peekaboo!
You have just heard another adventure into the unknown world of the future. The world of Dimension X.
Next week, Destination Moon, a preview of the movie which is soon to have its world premiere in New York, telling the Robert Heinlein story of man's first trip to the moon.
Tonight's adventures in Dimension X, There Will Come Soft Rains, and 0 Hour were written by Ray Bradbury and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the first story as narrator was your host, Norman Rose. The leading players in 0 Hour were Denise Alexander as Mink and Rita Lynn as the mother, Roger DeKoven as the father. Music by Albert Berman. Engineer Don Abbott. Dimension X is produced by Van Woodward and directed by Edward King. Robert Warren speaking. Programs. Get your programs here. For a new thrill in detective listening, join the Saint tomorrow as he reaps a harvest of criminals in a thrilling adventure with the underworld. Make the Saint a Sunday listening habit and keep tuned thereafter for adventures of the greatest detective of them all, Sam Spade. Tomorrow, hear High Adventure, Now Truth or Consequences on NBC.
Wheaties presents Dimension X. Adventures in time and space, transcribed in future tense.
Dimension X.
On stage tonight, Dimension X, another in the Wheaties' big parade of exciting half-hour presentations.
I'm thinking of a girl. Very pleasant person, very attractive, too. She has cool hands, a nice voice, and a gentle manner. She's crisp and efficient, but she needs help badly. She's the American nurse, and her problem is this. There just aren't enough like her to go around. Not enough nurses for the hundreds of important nursing careers now open in hospitals, industry, research, the armed forces, and private duty. Now, you may not know the girl I mentioned, but perhaps you know someone very much like her. A young girl with at least a high school diploma, of good health and character. If you do, tell her this. America needs 50,000 student nurses this year. Tell her you think she might be one of them. If she agrees, have her stop in at the hospital nearest to her. She'll never regret it, and neither will you.
Now, tonight's adventure into the world of the unknown, the world of Dimension X. The doll shop stood on a quiet Washington side street, not too far from the sprawling Pentagon building. A woman and a child waited outside, the little girl peering eagerly through the window at the dolls inside, and the woman glancing impatiently at her wristwatch, as if expecting someone who was late for an appointment. And there was nothing about the doll shop to warn them that they were waiting to keep an appointment with doom.
Oh, Mommy, look!
Yeah,
What is it, dear?
In the window of the shop, the tiny dolls. Oh, Mommy, do you think Daddy will buy me one?
Well, we'll ask him when he comes, dear. He said 3 o'clock on this corner.
I see him, Mommy. There he is.
Oh, Henry, here we are.
Hello, dear.
Hi.
Sorry I'm late.
Well, we've been waiting for you. Cindy's been
So I'm
telling...
afraid I'll have to call off the shopping, Alma.
Oh, Henry, we promised.
Yes, I know.
Cindy.
I'm sorry. It's just one of those things. You've been the wife of an army colonel long enough to know his life isn't his own.
What is it this time?
Oh, some more of that flying sphere nonsense. The pilot who says he sighted it last month crashed and was killed today, so the general wants a full report.
Dear, what next?
Daddy.
We'll have a staff meeting at the Pentagon at 3:15.
Daddy, look in this window.
I haven't time, dear.
Just for a minute, Daddy, please.
Cindy, I haven't time to stop and watch a bunch of 6-inch dolls parading around the shop. Say they are lifelike, aren't they? Look at that, Alma. Dolls are marching around like a regular review. They've even got their own little band.
Henry, your staff meeting.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I've got to run. Now, look, don't go spending a lot of money on that nonsense, Alma.
No, dear.
Bye.
Bye, dear.
Bye, Cindy.
Bye, Daddy. Oh, Mommy, look. Look, the band's going to play.
Aren't they wonderful, honey? You know, it's funny. I must have stood on this corner 1,000 times, and I've never even noticed this shop before.
Good evening, children.
Oh, well, good evening.
Mommy, he talks awful funny.
Hush, Cindy.
Would you like to step inside the shop of Santor Perigi?
Well, yes, we would.
This way.
Oh, Mommy, it's like fairyland.
Here in the shop of Santor Perigi, creator of Perigi's Universal Wonderful Dolls, the world of adult reality is blended with the world of child's fantasy.
This is a new shop, isn't it, Mr. Perigis?
What is new and what is old? Come, this way. Would you like to meet one of my little ones?
Oh, yes.
This one in the red jacket is Toto. Speak, little one.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
Mommy, he talks. The doll talks.
Amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
That is nothing for Perigi's wonderful dolls. Listen, sing, Toto. Sing for the little girl.
My name is Toto.
Cindy, listen.
Sing, Toto.
Men are big and tall. Dolls are very small. When men begin to fall, the dolls will rule them all.
Oh, Toto, more! Well, how do they work, Mr. Perigi?
How do they work? That is the secret of the great Perigi, greatest of all doll masters. To make an ordinary doll is nothing. To make a perfect replica, that is something. But to make a doll with intelligence, that is the work of an artist, huh?
Well, yes. Well, they must be very expensive.
Madame, when I construct a doll like Toto, I cannot bear to be parted from him permanently. So instead of selling, I rent my little people.
You rent dolls?
Precisely. $10. I have but one request. When you grow tired of my dolls, you must return to me in good condition.
Oh, Mommy, could we take him home?
Take him home, take him home, take him home.
Oh, look, Mommy, look. He's bowing and dancing. Oh, Mommy, he wants to come. Please, I'll take such good care of it, please.
Well, honey, we'll have to deal with your father later, but... Well...
Oh, Mommy!
All right, wrap him up, Mr. Perigi. Oh, dear, I have a feeling when your father comes home, we'll be sorry.
Be sorry, be sorry, be sorry, be sorry.
Now, Toto, this is my room, and you're going to sleep right here next to my pillow. Oh, Toto, don't laugh like that. I'm going to have to teach you some manners. You be quiet, because my daddy will be home soon, and he's a colonel in the army, and he'll bust you to private if you don't behave. Now, you wait here. I'm going to introduce you to my puppy dog, Mr. Blister. So be good now. Here, Blister. Here, Blister. Come on, Blister. Come here. Mr. Blister, now this is Toto. Oh, dear, I don't think Mr. Blister likes you, Toto. Stop it, Mr. Blister. Come over here and shake hands with Toto, Mr. Blister. Come on now. Mr. Blister, let him go! Let go! Let go!
Cindy, Mr. Blister, come over here. Why, what happened, dear?
Mr. Blister tried to bite my doll. Look how frightened Toto is.
Dolls don't get frightened, Cindy.
But he is, Mommy. He screamed.
You just imagined it, honey.
But he did.
Well, Mr. Blister didn't mean it. You know he's the gentlest little pup alive.
He isn't. He's nasty and I hate him.
Cindy, you've hurt his feelings.
Okay. He tried to buy my new doll, and I don't ever want to see him again. Ever.
Oh, dear. All right, Mr. Blister, you come downstairs with me. Come on now. Cindy's angry at you tonight.
I'll kill him.
Why, Cindy, where did you hear a thing like that?
Toto said it.
Well, I see. Well, you've had an exciting day, honey. You brush your teeth now and go to bed. Daddy's coming home late, so we'll see you in the morning. Hmm? Good night, darling. Sleep well.
I hate him, Mr. Toto. I hate him.
Morning, Alma. Breakfast ready?
Just a minute. How was the staff meeting last night, dear?
Oh, horrible bore as usual. Where's the little one?
Up in her room. She'll be down in a minute.
Oh, say, remind me to take some papers back to the War Department, will you? I left them in my strong box.
Henry, you told me it was against regulations to bring secret papers home.
Well, I had to finish some work for the old man. Nobody will ever know the difference.
Well, I suppose not. Oh, dear, would you feed the puppy before we sit down? His bowl's under the sink.
Where is he? That's funny. Here's his supper from last night, only half eaten.
Getting fussy.
Blister? Here, Blister. Blister! Where the dickens is that mutt?
Maybe he's on the back porch.
Oh, maybe. Here, Blister. Here, Blister. Alma.
What is it, dear?
Alma, look.
Why, Henry. Is he?
Yes, he's dead.
But how? What happened?
From the looks of it, he might have been poisoned.
Poisoned? Who on earth would do a thing like that to an innocent little pup?
I don't know. Let's see his dish.
Oh, Henry.
I don't understand this at all. Say, what's this?
What's what?
Well, look, there are pieces of broken glass in his food. Blue glass.
Glass? Glass? Henry.
Huh?
Well, I just remembered something.
What?
It may just be coincidence, but in the bathroom this morning...
What about the bathroom?
Cindy's blue glass, you know, the one with the Mickey Mouse on it. It was broken, Henry. I found pieces in the wastebasket. I meant to ask her about it.
Oh, Alma, for heaven's sake, you aren't suggesting that our little girl... Why, she loved Blister more than anyone.
Not last night, she didn't.
Why not?
Well, he went after Toto.
Well, who's Toto?
Oh, her new doll.
You bought her one of those dolls?
Well, I just rented it.
Rented it?
Yes.
Look, Alma,
Oh, no.
Oh, well, all right. Well, what's this got to do with Blister?
He went for the doll, and Cindy... Well, Cindy said... Henry, she said she'd kill him.
What? Well, that's ridiculous.
It's true.
Good heavens, a 9-year-old child putting ground glass and dog food? She'd have to be a monster.
Mommy.
Now, don't say anything. I'll talk to her.
Good morning, dear.
Morning, Mommy.
Morning.
Morning, Daddy.
Hello.
What's the matter?
Nothing, Cindy. Sit down, dear.
Yes, sir.
Cindy, your mother tells me you broke your blue drinking glass.
Oh, no, I didn't break it.
Now, Cindy...
I didn't.
Well, now, somebody broke it. It wasn't your mother, and it wasn't me.
Well, then it must have been Toto.
Cynthia.
Cindy, you know Toto was only a doll. Now, a doll couldn't have broken your glass, could he? Well?
But he must have done it, Daddy.
Cindy, you know how Daddy feels about little girls who tell untruths. Now, did you break your glass and maybe accidentally get some pieces into Mr. Blister's dish to sort of punish him for biting your doll?
Oh, no, Daddy.
I'd hate to think you'd done something you knew was wrong and you were blaming it on a doll.
What's the matter with Mr. Blister? Is he sick?
He's dead, Cindy.
Oh, no, he can't be dead. He isn't dead, Daddy. No, he isn't. He isn't. Mommy,
Yes, dear.
but he'll come back. He has to come back.
No, he won't come back, honey.
Not ever.
No, Cindy, not ever.
Good
Now that we've told you, Cindy, do you want to change your mind about the glass?
Henry, let her alone.
Daddy, you think I killed?
Just see what you've done. The child feels guilty enough, Henry.
Oh, dear, this is no time for feelings to interfere.
Feelings don't know any time, Henry. When they come, they just come. You go up to your room, honey. Daddy and I'll be up in just a minute.
I don't want to.
Please, Cindy. We'll be right up. Please. There, that's a good girl. And close the kitchen door behind you.
Mr. Blister's dead. And he isn't coming back. Ever. Daddy thinks it was me, but it was you. It was you!
Dimension X will continue in just a moment.
You know, friends, Breakfast of Champions is a whole lot more than a phrase written across a package of Wheaties. There's one thing I could tell you. I could tell you that it means champions in the world of sports eat Wheaties. And it's so true. You bet it is. But I've got a better idea, and one I think you'll like. I think perhaps you'd rather get the story from a champion himself. So here is a champion. Will you introduce him, Ed Prentice?
Now, young man, will you tell us what you do for a living? I pitch. You what? Pitch. You know, baseball. When you have a baseball team, you have to have a pitcher. I'm a pitcher. I pitch.
Oh, yes, I see. And are you on a team?
Yes, sir. I'm on the Cleveland Indians.
Cleveland Indians, hmm? What is your name, young man?
I'm Bob Feller, and you know it as well as I do, Ed.
Sure I do, Bob. It's good to see you. This makes your 14th season playing with the Indians, doesn't it?
Yep, Ed. 14 years.
Well, tell me, Bob, how long you been eating Wheaties?
Oh, about 20 years, give or take a couple.
You mean you started eating Wheaties before you started playing ball?
Why, of course. What's so strange about that? Most people start eating Wheaties before they get to playing ball. In fact, most people never start playing baseball. You don't have to be a ball player to enjoy the lift you get from Wheaties with milk and fruit.
You're right as rain, Bob. No champ ever said a truer word about Wheaties, Breakfast of Champions.
Eat your supper, dear.
I'm not hungry.
Oh, Cindy, you scarcely touched your lunch.
I don't feel like eating.
Is it Mr. Blister?
Oh, Mama.
Cindy, answer your mother.
Now, Henry, she'll work it out in her own way, dear.
Oh, I don't know. When I was a boy, there was such a thing as discipline. Where this child is being brought up...
Henry.
Well, it's true. There's no respect. Lying. Oh, I don't know. Alma, what's happened to us? We were a nice, peaceful, happy family until you bought that cursed doll.
Now who's blaming things on the doll?
Well, it's true.
Henry. You wanted to get some papers from your strongbox.
What? Oh, yes, excuse me.
Will you try to eat something, Cindy? Now, darling.
Yes, ma'am.
Alma! Alma!
Yes, Henry, what is it?
Alma, it's gone.
What's gone?
The box, the strong box is gone.
Well, it can't be. The door to your study's always locked, and you and I have the only keys.
I know all that, and I tell you it isn't there.
Well, who would...
I don't know, Alma. Those confidential reports, if they ever get into the wrong hands...
Oh, I warned you about keeping them here.
Oh, what if it ever came out in the open? Can't you see the papers? Army colonel, derelict in duty.
Call the police, Henry.
What, and throw my career in the wastebasket after 17 years? And we've got to find it ourselves.
But it was there when I went in to clean this morning.
Well, what about your key?
Well, it's right here. I always keep it right with me. That's funny.
Oh, no.
But my other keys are all on the ring.
You've lost it.
I don't see how.
Alma, how could you do it?
Henry, please.
Come on, we'll search the house. I can't think of anything else to do.
Oh, dear, you're going to miss your staff meeting.
Well, all right, never mind the meeting. My whole career goes up in smoke if we don't find those reports. Now, somebody get hold of your key and open that room. I know, Cindy.
Oh, let the child alone. She's been through enough. You know she wouldn't do a thing like that.
I don't know anything anymore. I don't know my own child. I don't even know you.
Henry.
All I know is that strongbox is gone with papers that are dynamite if the wrong person gets them. The question being who? What's that?
Coming from upstairs.
What's that blasted doll again?
Something must have set it off. I don't know how the mechanism works.
Well, for heaven's sake, let's go up and shut it off.
Right.
Dodo, kill him,
Stop it! Blasted little imp! There.
Henry,
Ever since we've got this thing...
Henry.
What?
look.
Where? What?
Around the doll's neck. The key. The key to your study.
It was Cindy, after all.
I don't believe it.
Ever since she got this fool doll, she's been acting half insane. First the dog, now this. I think she hates us, Alma.
Henry, Cindy is my child, and I know her. I know she's a good, sensitive little person with no malice in her.
You're just simply refusing to face the facts, dear.
What are you going to do?
I'm going downstairs and have a talk with that young lady. Cindy, you're not telling me the truth.
Oh, yes, I am, Daddy.
Now, all I'm asking is that you tell me the truth. Now, where is it?
I didn't take it, Daddy. Honest, I didn't take it.
I suppose you're going to tell me now that a little 6-inch doll took my strong box and hid it. Well? Cindy, I'm speaking to you.
I didn't take it, Daddy. You don't understand. Toto did it. Oh, he's terrible awful. He says things. He says he's going to kill everybody.
Oh, Cindy, you're inventing things.
It's true. At night when I'm sleeping, he stands next to my pillow and whispers things to me. Awful things. He told me he'd kill me, too, if I told him.
Alma, I think this child is sick. I think she needs a doctor.
She's frightened, Henry. She's trembling like a leaf. Come on, darling. We'll go up to your room.
I don't want to go
No,
up
honey,
there.
Mommy will stay with you.
I'm afraid. He's up there.
Who, Cindy?
Toto.
Well, he won't be up there for long. Mr. Toto is going right back to Perigis' wonderful doll shop before I lose my sanity, which means right now.
Ah, Colonel Grayson. Welcome to the home of Perigis' wonderful doll.
Are you Perigi?
Santor Perigi, creator of the universal doll. The doll with the mind. The doll
Yes,
with...
well, I'm returning one of your masterpieces.
Oh? If you will step into the rear of my shop. Now, what is the complaint?
There's no complaint. Here's your doll. Good riddance.
My little Toto, rejected, you found the world of men too filled with hate. We will change all that later on. Return to your comrades in the window, little one. And now, Colonel Grayson?
I think we have no further business, sir.
Ah, but we do, Colonel. Let me see. Ah, yes. Here it is. Do you recognize this, Colonel?
That's my strong box. Where?
My little Toto is very clever, sir.
Are you trying to tell me your doll stole that from me?
Let us not say stole. I'm merely keeping it in custody.
What's your game, Perigi?
Blackmail. You give me what I want, I do not ruin your career.
What do you want?
Information. We already know something from the reports of the War Department concerning a certain strange-looking sphere reported by one of your pilots.
What government do you represent?
I represent Perigis' wonderful dolls, none other.
I'm not so naive, sir.
Perhaps I should explain. Each man hides something from the world. Each man loves something more than life. With the help of my wonderful dolls, I obtain personal information which enables me to control the men who control the world. Men like you.
Hand over that strong box.
I warn you, I have a gun.
Give it to me.
You are being foolish. Put down that walking stick.
Now.
No closer.
Now. Hello. Give me the police. Hello. This is Colonel Henry Grayson. I've just killed a man. Perigis' doll shop, corner of 4th and Lexington. The body is in the rear. I'll wait for you. Shut up. Shut up, you little fiend!
Colonel Grayson!
Did I hear you speak?
Colonel Henry Grayson!
Oh, it can't be. I must be going out of my mind. A 6-inch doll. Shut up! Your master's dead!
You are mistaken, Colonel. I, Toto, am the master.
What do you mean?
If you will examine the body of Santo Perigi, you will see that he does not bleed. And he does not bleed, Colonel, because Santo Perigi never lived.
Never lived?
Santo Perigi is a doll.
A doll? But He's a man. He talks. He walks.
The people of Meretrix are skillful doll builders.
Meretrix? Doll builders? Who are you?
I am Xanthus Imperator, commander of the legions of the third planetoid, Meretrix.
Legions? Planetoid?
My people and I, whom you regard as dolls, come from a tiny planet beyond the moon.
What?
So small that it cannot support our population.
That's true.
We landed one of our space spheres on Earth 3 months ago with the intention of colonizing. Unfortunately, one of your pilots intercepted us.
So that's why you wanted our information.
Precisely.
And you are human?
Quite human. Of course, in order to deal with Earth people without suspicion, we were forced to construct Perigi, a man-sized doll.
No, it can't be. I can't believe this. I'm having hallucinations. I've got to get out of here.
That will be impossible. We have weapons of destruction quite unknown to Earth people.
I phoned the police. They'll be here soon.
By the time they arrive, my people will have prepared something quite shocking.
Keep me covered, Ryan.
Okay, Sarge.
All right. You the guy who turned in the call?
Yes, that's right, Sergeant.
Where's the body?
Well, you see, it isn't exactly a body.
What do you mean?
It's a doll.
What?
Now, wait, you've got to let me explain. I know this sounds fantastic, but I've stumbled onto an unbelievable plot.
Yeah? Keep talking.
Well, you see, these little dolls, they aren't really dolls. They're tiny people. Now, there's a big doll named Santor Perigi. They're using him as a front to run this shop.
He's off his trolley, Sarge.
Now, look here.
Now, listen, mister, we got to call it. There was a murder here. Now, if there was one, where is the body?
Well, it's behind the curtains in the back. Only, you see, it isn't really a body. It's a big wax dummy. It's all part of their plot to gain control of the world.
Holy smoke, he's really off his rocker.
Now, look, if you don't believe me, I'll prove it to you. Come here. Look behind this curtain and you'll see the dummy lying on the floor.
Welcome, gentlemen. Are you looking for something?
Perigi! This is impossible. I smashed his skull.
Do you know this guy?
That's the one, the doll.
What's your name, mister?
Perigi, Santor Perigi, creator of the Universal Doll.
Uh-huh. You ever see this man?
Never until just now.
That's not true. He's lying. I tell you, he's nothing but a big doll. The real masters are the little dolls.
Ryan, are you getting this?
He's wacko, Sarge.
No,
He's a fruitcake.
I'm not crazy, I tell you. I can prove it. They must have fixed up his head where I smashed it in. Touch him and you'll see.
Mr. Perigi, you know what this guy is talking about?
The man is demented, obviously.
No, that's not true. I tell you, there's a plot to control the Earth. I've got to call the War Department. They want to know about the flying sphere.
Holy mackerel, this gets worse every minute. Ryan.
Take him to headquarters?
No, save some time. Take him down to Psycho Ward.
Okay, all right, Buck.
wait.
Just come along nice and quiet.
No, don't you see? He's nothing but a man-sized doll.
Sure, and the little ones are going to take over the Earth, and you're going wait and cut out some nice paper dolls.
Oh, please, listen to me. You've got to listen to me. You've got to.
Sorry you had all this trouble, Mr. Perigi.
Poor chap. He is obviously suffering from delusions.
Well, he's not the only one in Washington today. You know, we've been getting a whole string of crack-ups lately, bigwigs blowing their tops under pressure. If you could see some of the names in our confidential files...
You keep confidential files on cases like this?
Certainly. Believe me, they'd be dynamite if they ever got in the wrong hands. Well, I'd better be running along. Hey, is that a talking doll?
Yes, Sergeant.
My name is Toto. I dance and sing.
Well, I'll be... Hey, my little girl would be nuts for that.
So? Then please accept the doll for saving my life. That madman might have killed me.
Yes, but
Take Toto home with you as a gift.
Well, now, I don't know, Mr. Perigi. It's against regulations for us to accept favors.
But this is not for you. It is for your little daughter. And if you will only take the doll and give him a good home, you will be doing me a great favor.
Well, then, if you insist, and thanks very much. When my kid sees this, will she be surprised?
Yes, Toto will come as a great surprise. A very great surprise. Hey, Toto?
Tonight, Dimension X has transcribed Perigi's Wonderful Dolls
an original radio drama written by George Lefferts. Les Damon appeared as Colonel Grayson and Joan Alexander as Alma, with Denise Alexander as Cindy. Joe DeSantis played Santor Perigi, and Leon Janti was Toto, the talking doll. Engineer Bill Chambers. Your narrator was Norman Rose. Music by Albert Berman. Dimension X is produced by Van Woodward and directed by Edward King. In a moment, we'll tell you about next week's show. And now, here is your Wheaties man, Frank Martin.
Look at your Wheaties in a cereal bowl, and, well, they look pretty innocent, don't they? They're crisp, all right, and golden brown. And you know they've got that wonderful Wheaties nut-like taste. But where does all that energy come from? What is it about Wheaties that give you all those vitamins and minerals and protein? I'll tell you what it is. There's a whole kernel of wheat in every Wheaties flake. Not just a portion of a kernel, mind you, but a whole kernel of wheat. Now, that begins to explain things, doesn't it? Tells you why Wheaties Energy helps you feel good all morning long, like I keep saying. No wonder they're America's favorite whole wheat flakes, breakfast of champions and all that. Now you know why Wheaties at 7 can help at 11. Wheaties.
Next week, the strange story of a curse that came true. It's the story of the Castaways, another adventure into the unknown world of tomorrow, the world of
Dimension X.
And this is the Wheaties man, Frank Martin, inviting you to listen Saturday, that's tomorrow night, to Joel McRae in Tales of the Texas Rangers on the Wheaties Big Parade. See you then.
Break trail with 4 men and a girl to the territory of the killer beast. 4 men who live by killing. A girl who has experienced so much that only sadistic brutality can thrill her. Vicious and violent men, attempting the most daring of daylight robberies, enjoying midnight revelries, until one orgy turns into a nightmare of terror.
Ionized Yeast presents
Lights Out. Everybody.
It is later than you think.
Lights Out brings you stories of the supernatural and the supernormal, dramatizing the fantasies and the mysteries of the unknown. We tell you this frankly, so if you wish to avoid the excitement and tension of these imaginative plays, we urge you, calmly but sincerely, to turn off your radio now.
My name, Arch Obler. Tonight, a story I enjoyed writing for you because, well, frightening as the thought may be, it could happen.
And furthermore, I might speak frankly, my dear Diane, the basic thing wrong with woman is her nose. Let's cut it off.
Russell Adams.
Then there's the matter of her ears. Look at them.
Well?
They're too obvious. Cut them off, too.
No nose, no ears. Oh, a fine art critic you turned out to be.
Oh, is this thing odd?
Russ Adams, I hate you. I think it's the best piece of sculpture I've ever done.
Egomaniac.
Oh, will you go away?
Not until I tell my wife how much I adore her. How about stopping the artistic endeavors for the night and romancing with the old man?
Any night.
Come on. Out on the veranda. There's a moon.
Spoken as Professor Russell J. Adams, instructor of astronomy at our beloved university.
I don't know a single scientific fact about this moon. It's a special satellite built entirely for romance.
Then it's a date.
After you, fair Diane? Why do you laugh?
Just thinking it's a good thing we haven't any neighbors, or they'd think we were honeymooning.
10 years and 2 more weeks.
Sweet.
Why?
For remembering.
Well, the sign.
Oh, it's such a lovely night.
Yes. You're very lovely with the moonlight in your hair.
Darling.
335 days out of the year, moonlight to me is just a reflected light of the sun. A light interesting only that it may be analyzed spectroscopically. But these 30 days of our vacation, Diane. Oh, what a magical change. It's a soft lover's moon hanging in the heavens only to brighten your loveliness.
Oh, people wonder why I can't get excited about Ronald Coleman.
Coleman? Who's he?
Spoken like a true professor. He's a motion picture star. An absolute paragon of romance.
Oh, well, perhaps I shouldn't neglect my movie-going. Oh, so much I mean. With such paragons to teach one.
You do all right. Oh, Russell.
What's the matter?
I saw the brightest shooting star.
Is that all? The way you gasped, I thought you saw the angel of death himself galloping over those meadows.
There's another one. Look, Russell.
My dear, for 11 months out of the year, the heavens have my full and undivided attention. Oh, but during this blessed month, let the heavens fall, I can't be bothered.
I never saw such bright shooting stars.
Yes, and another thing, my dear. As the wife of an accredited professor of astronomy, I think it no more than fitting that you give the phenomena that you observed its proper name, namely the fall of a meteor.
There's another one. And another. Oh, Russ, how bright and beautiful.
They travel at such a tremendous rate, the friction of our atmosphere burns them into a fiery vapor.
There's more of them. Look, one after the other. I've never seen so many shooting stars.
Uh-uh.
I mean so many meteors in all my life. Oh, so that's why you wanted me out here. You knew about this meteor shower, didn't you?
It's one of heaven's free spectacles in this constellation. Every 3 years, and this happens to be the 3rd year.
How frightening.
Why frightening?
Those great masses of stone and iron coming from who knows where in interstellar space, traveling millions and millions of miles and then going up in such glorious flame just as they reach the end of their journey.
Not all goes to flame. Hundreds of them strike the earth each year.
Well, Russell, there's no danger.
Oh, no. The probabilities of being struck on the head by that cosmic rubbish is about 1,000 times more remote than winning a sweepstake without buying a ticket.
Oh, look. That one. The brightest of all.
Wait, Diane. What's that?
I don't know. Something from the sky. It's shooting star.
Look out, Diane!
Right.
All right, dear. Everything's all right.
What? How?
A meteor. It must have landed out in the field there. Here, let me help you. You all right, dearest?
Yes, I'm all right. Russ, where are you going?
Out there. Where it must have buried itself. Wait here. I'll be right back.
No, I'm going with you.
All right, if you want to. Oh, Diane, what an experience we've had. The one chance in a million I spoke about almost occurred to us.
But Russ, was it really a shooting star? That explosion like a bombshell?
A bombshell of the universe.
What will we find out there?
A fragment of the meteorite, I
But
hope.
it'll burn.
No. All of its heat will have been dissipated. Then again, it may have exploded into 1,000 minute pieces. I pray to heaven that it hasn't.
I'm afraid.
No. The danger's all over. Here. The moon's so bright. If any of the mass landed, I should be able to find the torn ground where it smashed through the turf.
Oh, please, darling, let's wait until morning.
No, I must find the thing at once. The moon gives plenty of light. From the brightness of the flash, I'm positive that the meteor landed someplace right in here. I'll tell you. Look!
What?
The turf, all torn up. This is the place.
Russell, are you mad? Get up off the ground.
Right here. It must have struck a glancing blow off the brow of the ridge. I've got it.
What?
A fragment of it. Still warm. See? No larger than a baseball. All that was left of it.
That's a meteor.
A meteorite. All that's left of the meteor that burned and exploded. What a find.
Drop it, Russ.
What are you talking
Throw
about?
it away.
Here, come back to the house, please.
What are you going to do with it?
Diane, what's the matter with you? Your face.
I don't know. Somehow I'm afraid for all of us.
Afraid? Good heavens, my dear. There's nothing dangerous about this. A mass metal that's 90% iron. Why, it's as harmless as any inert piece of metal. Come to the study. I'll show you where the rush of air against the incandescent...
Russ, wait.
Huh?
Someone's crying.
Yes.
I'll go and see. It's Helga. Oh, Helga, you poor thing. We forgot all about you.
Oh, Mrs. Adams, it was exploding.
Now, everything's all right, Helga.
What's going on, Diane?
Oh, poor Helga. The explosion frightened her out of her wit.
Oh, Mr. Professor Adams, we die. We all die.
Don't be a
the
fool.
fire, it come from the sky. It kill us. It kill you and me and everybody. We die. Everybody
Stop
die.
it. For heaven's sake, stop that.
Sky.
Take care of it, Diane. Give her a sedative or something.
All right, Russell. All right now, Helga. Everything's all right.
I'm going to get at this meteorite, so please quiet the dumb fool down as quickly as you can. Superstitious idiot. Simple phenomena, and she thinks the world's ending. Simple little meteorite. Iron, a bit of nickel content. Nothing particularly unusual. Oh, Diane, quiet her down, will you?
Yes. She'll be all right.
You look a little rocky yourself. Here, sit here.
She's very frightened.
Yeah, and even you, Diane.
Well?
Well, you've acted so strangely, as if this inert piece of cosmic metal could cause some supernatural ability.
What are you going to do with it?
Nothing. Examine it. Here, I'll take some of this nitric acid. Where's that bottle? Yeah. Now watch closely, and I'll show you that the stone consists of ordinary elements. Iron.
Russell.
What?
This mark on it. How strange.
Yeah. Funny, I hadn't noticed it before.
Circles the entire stone.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised that a blow right here would break it in half. Yes, I think I'll try to do that.
No, Russ. Leave it alone.
Good heavens, Diane. Nothing but a stone. All I'm going to do is try and break it along this fissure. See, I had a hammer and a stone. Here. I wonder if the stone break. Almost solid metal. I'll try. By George, it did. Clean in half. What?
Look. What's inside?
Flesh.
Oh, Russ, how...
Negative ray protoplasmic. No, it can't be. It can't. This is a meteor. It came from out there. There is no flesh. Nothing could live.
Russ, look.
Huh?
It's growing.
Growing?
Ladies and gentlemen, a shooting star flashes out of the sky and falls to Earth. And in it something living from out of interstellar space. Yes, Yes, this is the time to take a breath before going on with tonight's Lights Out play, the story of Professor Adams and his wife and the thing from out beyond our world. A meteorite had fallen, and Professor Adams had broken it open, and there was a gray nugget of flesh inside, which, even as the professor and his wife stood watching, began to grow.
Faster and faster. Gray flesh. Growing. Russ, I'm afraid.
No, Diane. No. Wait. Control yourself. This is something we've got to see, both of us, calmly, so we can tell others clearly what we saw.
I'll try. Russ, keep your arm around me.
Larger and larger. Listen, the noise as it grows.
I hear it. When will it stop? When?
Look. Look.
I can't. That horrible gray flesh.
But you must see it. Look. It's forming into something.
What?
A head. It's forming into a head.
Oh!
How can it be, Diane? Flesh in a meteor growing into a head.
I see it. A head. Horrible head.
Diane, you heard.
Yes.
A head without body speaking.
Yes, speaking.
Russell.
You hear and understand me?
It's laughing.
I laugh at the fear and wonder in your simple little faces.
Who are you? What are you?
If I told you, would your little earth minds understand?
Tell us, whatever you are. Tell us what you are.
What you on earth will soon have for masters.
No, wait, Diane. I must know. You thing... what can I call you? Tell me what you mean, you... masters.
Surely you simple little men do not think that in you creation has reached the ultimate.
Oh. Gray flesh talking. I'm getting out.
You will stay.
Russ, I can't move.
Nor I.
You cannot move.
Who are you? Tell us, who are you?
You saw how I came.
A tiny bit of protoplasm in that meteorite?
So I willed myself to be, to reach your earth.
You came here in that? Through space?
Through space beyond your furthest conception. Earth thing. Many of my people have tried. I am the first to succeed.
Then meteors are
the means we have used to try and reach this haven of plenty. I am the first. Now there will be others.
You're from another planet?
An old world. Old beyond your understanding. A world grown cold in its age. Empty with passing years. We must escape to a young, fertile world. This world.
But you're only heads. Heads without bodies.
Oh, Russ, I'm so afraid.
No, please. I must hear him speak. This that is happening to us is a miracle of all times. Tell me, you there, are you only heads in that world you speak of?
Heads. You see what I will you to see.
But what are you?
A mind and a will beyond your feeble understanding. As far above you as you are above the apes that still must crawl in your jungle.
But how can it be that you speak as I speak and understand what I say?
Your prattling wearies me, but I tell you this. All that you say, I know. The most profound thought any of you earthlings have ever thought is to me as the babbling of children. But now I am hungry. You understand that, little thing.
Hungry?
Hungry?
Hungry with a hunger that has driven me over space without ending. Hunger that has brought me here.
But what do you eat?
You will know.
What do you mean?
What food could there be here to fill the hunger of such as I? Hunger that would make me entomb myself in metal, flung into space in a hope that chance would bring me through the fire of that air of yours. What food? A thing.
I don't know. Tell me.
Come closer. A thing.
Oh, no.
And why, oh, no, a thing.
You don't... Human?
Human. You think you crawling worms are human to us.
But if you're man...
But we are not men. You are the cattle, and we are the keepers.
Oh.
You raise the cattle for life, and we for centuries have raised such as you on our world for life. But now, as I told you, our world has grown too old and too cold. The herds of you die, and we grow hungry. That is why I am here. We need new cattle. Here there are so many of you. Earth woman.
Russell, it spoke to me.
We've got to get out of here.
Earth woman.
No. Stop it. Don't look at me. Stop it.
Come
No.
closer.
Don't listen to him, Diane.
Closer.
No. Don't move, Diane. Stay where you are. Stay right there.
You hear only me, Earth woman.
Only you.
No, Diane. No. Don't say that. Don't look at that monster, Diane.
Closer, Diane.
Yes.
No.
Closer.
No, Diane. Stand still. Don't move toward it. Don't.
Closer.
No.
Diane.
Closer.
Monster. Not Diane. Diane, I beg of you. Don't go closer to it.
Closer.
No.
Closer.
I'll kill you.
Closer.
If I can only get to you.
Soon you will move to me as she is. Closer.
Diane.
Closer.
If I could move.
Closer.
Diane.
Closer.
I've got to find the way.
Closer.
The strength to stop him. Diane, you're almost...
Closer.
That bottle. Magic acid. The bottle. Yes, close to you, monster. Take this. A pool of flesh. That's all. Diane, wake up. Open your eyes. I've killed the thing.
I killed it. Diane, it's all right.
Russell.
I've killed it.
Oh.
Diane, look. Outside, it's still dark. Yes, the sky's still streaked with the Russian meteorites. And that thing said more of the monsters of his breed are trying to reach this earth to feel that devil's hunger in them. Another meteorite is just there. And in it, perhaps... Oh, Diane. Diane. Is that truly to be end for mankind?
Mr. Obler, will the end of the world come that way?
Well, Frank, if you mean will the end for mankind come out of interstellar space in the form of a flying meteor, well, there are some mighty interesting theories along that line. The amazing thing about it, Frank, is that there are so many logical and thoroughly possible ways in which the entire tribe of mankind could be wiped off the earth at any moment. I'm not talking about famine or what's close to all of us, war. I mean other ways. A star moves into our darkness from somewhere out there in the blackness of interstellar space, and the pull of its presence might turn our spinning globe headlong into the sun. In a split second, all of mankind, all his buildings, his wonderful possessions, his precious little pile, would go up in a flash of fire. Or, out of the sun itself, the very source of our life, as we all know, could shoot a long stream of explosive flame that would curl around us and again, well, so quickly that no man would know what had happened. In split seconds, this earth would be a charred, uninhabited spheroid. Yes, when one stops to think what a tiny little grain of sand this haughty world of ours actually is in the dark sea of space, and when we realizes how precarious little mankind's hold is on this earth, the spectacle of man's inhumanity to man becomes a cosmic joke.
Well, thanks, Arch Obler, for giving us such an optimistic note to end on. So there you have it. That's our Halloween special for this year. And it's actually after a 5-year hiatus that I'm actually doing this. Last time I did a Halloween special was actually 5 years ago. So I hope you enjoyed this particular special. It took me a while to put together. So if you got this far, please consider giving the video at least a thumbs up. I don't expect you to subscribe to the channel because this is not what I always, the type of content that I always produce. But as a young person growing up in the 70s, before hip-hop really began, I had loves before that, which were sci-fi, horror, and comic books. And that's the creative lane that led me into hip-hop as it developed over the years after the 70s. So I enjoy going back to some of this type of material and seeing the creative abilities that they put together. And of course, knowing that the writers and probably some of the actors and technicians that created some of this great work were, of course, misogynistic. You can hear it in some of the ways that they talk during these programs. And of course, probably to varying degrees, different racist people that were probably involved with the production. But still, they were able to put together good, enjoyable entertainment that I can still appreciate years later. So special shout out to all the directors, writers, and creative people, actors behind Suspense, Lights Out, Dimension X, It Pays to Be Ignorant, Lum and Abner, even a lot of the shows that were produced back in those days still had good quality programming. And it's something that you can learn from to be able to know where we could take this radio format, which is why I'm really showing this and giving you this experience tonight. So I hope you enjoyed this old-time radio classic showcase for our Halloween special. And maybe you can enjoy some other things in this genre if you take a time to listen, because it's still out there. All right, so that's it. That's the show for tonight. Thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed it.